Yeah, hello? Where voices, topics, and legendary stories come together? Yeah, I can get you connected. Switching to line 1.
It's video time, kids.
What's up? Welcome to the Switchboard podcast, episode 11. I've got my man Kareem El Rastafari and co-host Eddie Wall. We're going to dive into some stories and behind the scenes of filming for the movie That, filming in Scandinavia, and having Kareem as our guide. Check it out. This episode is brought to you by BYOB, Be Your Own Banker. I got a personal story. I was looking for a safe place to park my cash, be able to invest responsibly. Chris and his team had the answer. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com. Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only 2 types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Forum Chronicles. We got an amazing episode. I've got my boy Eddie Wall. I've got Kareem El Rastafari, and this is going to be a phenomenal episode. Yo, welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks, man.
Stoked to be here.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. I know it's been a little bit of work to get everybody on. I know you were sick, Eddie, but this is going to be an epic episode. We got some funny stories to tell. So let's get into it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to set a little foundation, a little background about you guys. We'll start off there. Kareem, I got a couple questions for you. Same with you, Eddie, and then we'll just get into that and the funny stories. Kareem, it's true you grew up right in Sweden, and there's not a lot of mountains around in Sweden. So how did you get into snowboarding and the whole rail scene, and what kind of set the foundation for your style of riding?
Yeah, so we have some mountains, but they're kind of far from where I live in Stockholm. Like the closest decent mountains are like from like 5-6 hours and further up north. And my parents never used to go to like holidays for like skiing or snowboarding or whatever, you know. So I got a chance to go with my school over the day to like a small hill and try snowboarding for a day, and I just immediately got hooked up with it. I like hooked on it. I got like, that was the best feeling I ever had, and I was so stoked on it. So when I came back to Stockholm, I tried to keep boarding, but yeah, we have like a few garbage hills that are like 200 to 300 feet high with like a T-bar, and I just started riding that. And we didn't really have like rails and stuff back then, but we had these MacDog movies, like watching like Decade and Simple Pleasures and like J.P. Walker and Jeremy Jones, and these guys were like hitting handrails and stuff, and I was like, wow, like that's the shit I want to do. And I discovered we had like a city full of street spots, you know, and good snow in the winters. So I just started riding street rails straight away, because we didn't have any park rails or anything like that. So we just bro-towed each other, like one holding like an old camera and the other one like slinging speed, and then just like whipping out the camera and like trying to get some shots and stuff. And like that's how I got into like street riding pretty much, and snowboarding in general.
Cam, where you're holding the camera with one hand and like,
yeah,
go
you're
Johnny!
yeah, you're like pressing record, you know, and then you run with the dude, and then you like slingshot him and like whip out the camera and try to get it, you know, like super sketchy. Like
Kareem, how old were you when you kind of first started riding, and what year was that about, roughly?
I think I was like 13 or 14 first time I tried snowboarding. And we started hitting rails like a year or 2 years after that.
And what year was that?
Ooh, like if we're talking in like what can it have been? Maybe like around the millennium, like 2020 maybe.
Okay.
No, sorry, 2000, around 2000 maybe.
Right.
Sometime
definitely was
around
not
that, like no, like 98, 99 maybe. I don't know. Like I can't say for sure, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And did you fall in love? You said you fell in love with snowboarding right away, Kareem?
Yeah, it was like I tried skateboarding a few times, and that was like fun, but I never tried skiing or anything before. And then like we have pretty cold and long and dark winters here, you know, and can't really skateboard that much in the winter. And then like I just went on one school trip and like instantly like got addicted. Like I haven't been able to stop ever since. It's been like a drug for me. Like I have to get my snowboard fix, otherwise I'm not me, you know, or I'm not happy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you love more, snowboarding or sleeping?
I feel it's like really. I don't want to choose, but for sure, snowboarding.
Say, I was just curious because I know you love both just as equal. Hell yeah, Eddie. Let's get a little background on you. Thanks, Kareem. I know you're known for like your unique journey from a small town in Pennsylvania, and you moved out west, and like kind of like a similar story to a lot of people, but you actually made it. You want to elaborate a little bit on your story and like how it all came together?
Yeah, just to sum it up fairly quickly. Yeah, it was grew up in Pennsylvania, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I started skateboarding around 12, like 11 or 12, which was about in like 1992. And then in 1993 is when I kind of discovered snowboarding because it was, you couldn't skateboard on the East Coast in the wintertime because, again, it's like really cold and snowy. So, yeah, similar story. Like I think I got Simple Pleasures was probably one of my first videos of Mac Dog film, and that just was like blew my mind, and I just instantly was like, that's all I want to do is like I want to try to hit big jumps and rails and stuff. And then yeah, at 18 I graduated high school, moved out to the West Coast, and then I worked at a couple ski resorts for like a winter or two, and then basically turned pro in like 2000, and then yeah, that was kind of the very quick version.
And your dad shreds too, right? He's still shredding to this day.
Yeah. So it was funny. I mean, he started snowboarding with me. It wasn't like he didn't bring me into snowboarding. I just started, and then he thought like, oh, I'll try that with you just to kind of have some like father-son stuff. And then he just got obsessed with it too. And so we both just like grew up kind of riding together. But I was, 13 and he was 43. And then, yeah. And so we just both kind of came up snowboarding together. And then he continued, after I moved out west, he continued snowboarding, and, he just was fully into it. And then he still does it to this day. And I think now he's 74, which is pretty rad.
That's so rad. That's rad.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family snowboards. Like my cousin does, my little brother used to, but at this point, nobody snowboards. So that's sick that your dad actually shreds with you or shredded with you.
Yeah, and it was cool too because it was more just like a homie. It wasn't I think sometimes from a distance it can seem almost like a soccer mom type scenario where how sometimes parents really push their kids to compete and to be all gnarly and are pretty strict with them. But yeah, that wasn't the case. He was just wanted to kind of come along for the ride and just be just have someone to snowboard with. So yeah, I mean honestly, it's funny because I kind of grew up. My whole from like 13 to 18, it was just like riding with him mainly, and then a few other, actually Kevin Keller. I grew up riding with Kevin Keller. I met him at like 15 or something, so pretty funny. But
was Kevin Keller any good?
Yeah, Keller was good. Yeah, for sure, dude. He was entering all the contests and with everybody, and but yeah.
Did he win anything?
I don't remember. I don't know.
This is not to throw you under the bus, Kevin. I just want to know how good you are because there's been plenty of times you told me I was a shit snowboarder and I know I was good. So I just wanted to find out your backstory. Baby girl, you're back?
Yeah, something.
Did your phone die again?
I'm back here.
All right, cool. No, that's rad. Switching gears, let's elaborate a little bit on prior to Forum, some brands you rode for. Eddie, since you were just talking about your story, I'll let you go first. What was your journey? I know you rode for K2, the Genius. What was your journey before Forum?
Yeah, so I went up to Mount Hood to wash dishes, and that summer I was riding pretty well, no sponsors at all. And two people who worked at Mount Hood that next winter became team managers, one for Smith, named Corey Smith, and then one for K2, Brian Craighill. So they both became TMs, and I think they were probably asked, can you bring on a rider? And they both hit me up. So that first winter when I moved from Mount Hood down to Mammoth, I got on K2 and Smith, and those were my first sponsors. And then soon after that was DC, and then that winter I met Kevin Jones, and we started riding together a bunch. And then he was starting Genius under Forum, and he just asked if I wanted to leave K2 and ride for Genius, and I was like, yeah, for sure, because I wanted to ride with Kevin, but then also be kind of in the world of the Forum guys as well. So yeah, it was definitely the imposter syndrome scenario where all of a sudden you're on this team in a team photo shoot with these guys that you grew up watching videos with, and you're like, well, this is crazy. Like, what am I doing here?
I totally know what you mean. I remember my first experience. I remember the first time I met you, actually, Eddie. I can't remember what we were doing, but we were in Mammoth. And I remember I was with Bridges and Lucas Magoon, and I think even Louis Vito. Like, at this time, those two both worked for Forum, which is kind of crazy thinking back. But I remember, like, you were like an idol to me and a lot of the homies, like in like school. And I just remember when I met you, and I don't know what we were doing. We were like, I gotta run to my house. Like, yo, you want to roll with me? I was like, yeah, let's roll. And I remember when we got back where we were at, I called my home and I was like, dog, I just rode in the car with Eddie Wall, bro. It was fucking sick. And what kind of wilding out, and hung the phone, was like, yeah, we're cool, you know what I'm saying? But it was fucking wild, dude. And it's like, yeah, I know that imposter syndrome, because when I met you and I met the rest of the team at the sales meeting in Park City, I was just like, what am I actually doing in this fucking room with all these legends right now?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was wild. So, Kareem, I know that you have some history out there riding for the Forum through the European distribution, but is it true you sent a mixtape, to one of the Forum distributions or somebody in your local area, and that's how you got involved with Forum?
Yeah, when I was 17, we were like, or maybe even 16, we were just hitting a bunch of stuff, and like I said, like bro camming each other, and like my homie who knew how to edit, he like made me like a mixtape to like, Jump Around, that song, like what's his name, like Jump Around, jump. And I sent that mixtape to like the Swedish reps when I was like 17, I think. And they were about to start like distributing Forum in Sweden, and like they invited me to go to like a contest where I went to, and I sat down with them and gave them the video, and they like looked at it and they were like super stoked, and they're like, yeah, you want to ride for Forum? And I was like, yes. That's exactly what I want to do. so they hooked me up like and pushed me a lot in Sweden, and then the year after they opened like the European distribution, like where they put it together like a European team. And that's when I got on the European team, and then that winter was when everyone came out to Sweden and filmed for that.
Yeah, that's
and I
sick,
think
dude.
Eddie, I think I even met you before that, because remember the Red Bull Railstorm like in London?
Yeah.
Like there was like a Red Bull had like way too much money in the budget left, and they organized like a huge contest in London, in Trafalgar Square, and they like invited different teams from around the world, like 3 riders per team, and I think in Sweden it was me, Nicky Viveg, and Hans Åhlund, and I think in the US it was you, Eddie, Casanova, and Bittner, maybe.
Yep.
Oh, that's a killer team.
Yeah, and like it was like a team, like they paid like everything, like I was like barely 18, like came there, like nice hotel rooms, like Hilton Trafalgar Square, like everything taken care of, like massive setup, like full on, and we like Sweden, Finland, and the US made it to the finals. And in the finals, like we just all talked together, and like we knew like everyone was gonna win gold, because they had like so much gold, like 24 karat like gold bars and stuff. So like we all agreed to like split the gold, like no matter how it ended up, in the finals. And after, I remember I went to my room, and like we put all the gold together in like a massive pile, like I don't even know how much gold there was. Like there was like, I think 100 ounce bars, like 100 ounces of like gold, or like something ridiculous, Yeah. And then we just like took turns in a circle, like taking 1 gold bar each. And I think you guys, the winners, you got like 13 bars, and like we got like 11 bars or something like that.
Yep.
But that was like crazy coming home, and like my parents were like, what the fuck, like whipping out like 11 ounce gold bars, like they're like, what's going on?
Yeah. Hey,
but
Kareem, you want to see something crazy? Check this out. This is us in the hotel room.
No way, man. Do you have that photo?
No, that's so sick. That is so sick. Eddie, you've got to send me that photo, please.
Yeah.
I'll put that on this podcast.
Yeah, dude, that's us when we divvied up all the gold. It's so crazy because it just popped up on my phone the other day as like a memory, and I was like, oh my god, and like, yeah, it's like I think Heikki Sorsa is there, and I think Eero Ettala. Yeah, dude, that was like still to this day I think one of the most psycho contests I've ever been a part of, for sure.
Actually, you know what's funny about that contest? Obviously, I wasn't there, but I remember me and Bittner were roommates at that time. And I remember
No
when
way.
he came back. Yeah, it was me, Aaron Bittner, like my homie Cheeseburger and Shane. And I remember when Aaron came back and I saw his gold bars and I was just fucking so jealous. I was like, that is the sickest thing. That's the dopest prize I've ever seen. And yeah, I mean, I actually saw, Eddie, I saw you win some hard rock contests when I was younger. I wasn't even on any teams at this point. But I was at like the one where it was like I think either you or Marco won the Hard Rock in Vegas. I was at that one, and then I believe there was another, the one that you were at the one in Salt Lake as well, right? At the Delta Center, Eddie.
I went to that. I think I judged it or something because I was injured. But I did I was injured at the Salt Lake one. But yeah, the Vegas one I did. But yeah, yeah, and Kareem, yeah, we like I just remember like when we got home, we all made a necklace out of it, and so we all had like a 1 ounce gold necklace, and that was crazy. And kind of a wild story is that when everyone won, gold at that time was roughly, it was like $800 an ounce, maybe almost 1,000 or something. So we all won just like almost like around 10 grand or something. And most people, I don't know, Kareem, did you save yours or did you just go trade them in for cash?
No, I traded in mine for cash. I saved one, like that I've
Cool.
that I've holding on to, you know.
You still have it?
Yeah, but
Cool.
I don't have it
That's
here
sick.
though. But I still have it. Like I had 11. I had to sell 10 of them because I needed money to like snowboard and stuff, you know. But I made
Yeah.
sure to save one. But I remember you made one like a necklace of it. Do you still have that one, or did you sell like all of them, or?
No, so I have two. So like you said, we got 13 because yeah, so we had 13. I saved two, and I still have them. But when when I brought them home, I brought them in a safety deposit. I put them in a safety deposit box, which also in Mammoth actually at a bank, I put them in a safety deposit box, and I just like let them sit there for like 10 years. And then when I was like done snowboarding and kind of had all my contracts had expired and I wasn't going to get re-signed, it was like 2014. And my wife and I were like, all right, well, I don't have a job right now. Like, what should we do? And she was like, we should go travel. You know, let's go go check out some stuff. You know, like we had a friend going to Nepal who invited us. So I sold, gold had tripled at that point. So
Damn.
I went literally to like on the street. It's like cash for gold. I went in and brought them in and he gave me $30,000 cash.
Sick.
And then we got backpacks and we went and traveled for almost half a year, all through like Thailand and Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Tokyo, Bali, Ireland, and yeah, it's like all over the place.
Nice.
That's
Good
an epic
move, man.
story, dude.
Yeah, and that contest, Kareem, was that was like such an unforgettable. That's still to this day when people ask me like, "What's a highlight of your whole career?" I mean, that contest is way up at the top of that, you know.
Yeah, I agree, man. That was really a trip. Like, that was like something special.
And I think from what I heard years later, somebody said that was one. I was in London for something, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, Trafalgar Square," and they said, "Oh, the only like sporting competition that has ever been held there was that contest."
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Like, there's never been another sporting event there. Like, there's been concerts and things, but never like a sporting event, which is pretty nuts.
That's a piece of history. That's a piece of history that like no one can take away from you guys. That's so epic.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Damn. Who got third? What was I know? So the U.S. got first, Sweden got second. Who was the third?
No,
place?
we got third. Finland got
Oh, third?
second.
Oh,
Yeah.
Finland. Okay, well they had Ettala on their team. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we all agreed, we're like, hey, should we all, because I remember being up at the top, and I remember we were all like, hey, we've already been riding for a while, everybody was pretty exhausted, and we're like, listen, instead of like, it was supposed to be something like first place got 20 ounces each, second got 10, and third got 5 ounces each. And at the top, we're like, yo, like we're all in this together. Let's just split it up. And however it works out, like first place each will get 13 ounces, and then 10 and 10, or 11 on 11, or something like that. And just because we're like, then we'll just go and have fun, you know? And so we all went, but we went and had fun, but we also were all riding like really hard because we wanted to put on a good show. And then I just remember when like the US won, I was like, damn it, shouldn't have split that.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck yeah, we got third. Like, let's split the gold.
That's so funny. That's great. I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, damn, hey, can we renegotiate that little like deal we made? That's epic. What good times. Hell yeah, boys. Oh, that's a really rad story. Let's shift gears. Let's jump into that. I've got some this is a kind of a that themed episode, but that's a sick backstory. Eddie, I want to jump into you first. So I know we kind of talked about this earlier on the phone quickly, but what was your first overall impression when you rolled up to Sweden? I think I came a couple of days later than you were over there. What was your first impression when you saw Kareem with his cornrows, brown Volvo, and 700-pound dropping ramp strapped to the top of that thing out front of the Lidmore Hotel?
Dude, I also have that photo. I have to dig it up, but I have that photo. It's so... The drop-in ramp was literally bigger than the car, which is so funny. Especially because we were used to using like the Heine Tools ramp, which is like combined, it collapses into a board bag, and then we roll up and Kareem's like, hey dude, I got this drop-in ramp, man. And we're like drop it down. We're like, that's like bigger than your local resort here. No, it was cool. I mean, yeah, it was definitely like crazy. I didn't expect, I do remember just being, and again, like, you know, I had met Kareem before, but I just remember being like, dude, this guy's so chill. Cause he's just like, yo, what's up guys? Like, yeah, let's go hit some rails. And he was like super mellow, but yeah, the drop-in ramp was funny. And it is funny, that thing was a beast, but it was actually awesome because it was so nice having such a big, giant, sturdy thing. And you weren't like teetering on some tiny little drop-in ramp where you feel like you're going to fall off, and it was like dropping in on like a small hill. So that was nice, but we got to dig up that photo though.
Yeah, please God, I hope you find that photo, because when I first saw that, I remember being like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? And and then I don't know what happened, but I ended up like jumping in the car and riding with Kareem, and I swear to God, every time he'd dip around a corner, I thought we were rolling the fucking thing. 100%. That thing, like, it was just lean, and you'd be like, well, you'd be way over here, and then it was just upright. And I was like, this thing is so top heavy, it's so sketchy. I'm surprised we didn't get pulled over. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I don't get it, like, how I didn't get pulled over. Like, I just, like, strapped it with some tie-downs, and, like, it was... yeah, like, except that one time, like, when I hit, like, a sign, because it was, like, a sign for, like, not too high, you know? Like, the whole thing, like, ripped off, like, the roof.
Wait. Tell us, I want to know details. Tell us about what happened to the drop-in ramp. Like, you've got to go into detail, because this is amazing.
No, but like, yeah, I was like driving through Old Town, and there was like just really tired, man, and like there was this like sign, you know, like you shouldn't drive over like 2.3 meters or something, and I completely forgot about the dropping ramp, and like suddenly I just hear like boom, you know, like something is like my roof is getting ripped off, you know, and like I check back, and it like crash lands in front of a taxi, like has to like swirl around it, and like I have to stop, and like the guy's like, what the fuck, man, like you almost fucking crushed me with this, like what is that? And I was like, oh no, like I fucking the tower is broken, man. And I had to like, it was stopping traffic, and I like had to like by myself, like trying to wiggle it up on the roof, and like sketchy tie it, and try to reattach the roof racks, and yeah, it was a big mission, man.
That is epic. That is
also I just thought of like two stories, and real quick, one was, and Kareem, maybe you walk me through this, but I remember this just popped into my head. We were in like an underground parking garage, and you were borrowing this car, and you literally go, I was like, oh dude, like what's up with that car? And you're like, oh man. I was like, dude, that's a nice car. It was like I don't know if it was a Mercedes or something, but it was a nice car. It was like a white car. And Kareem was like, oh yeah, man, like I'm super hyped. I'm like borrowing my homie let me borrow his car. And he goes, thing is, like, I just got to be really careful with it because it's like, it's not my car and it's really nice. And I was like, yeah, cool. And right then he's like, all right, dude, I'll see you later. And he gets in his car and there's a concrete pillar and he reverses and just goes and just like peels the entire side of the car off right before saying like, hey, this isn't my car. I got to be really careful with it. It was like a movie, dude. Like, I just remember I felt so bad, but I was laughing so hard. Like, do you remember that, Kareem?
Yeah, I remember it. It was like somewhere in California, like SoCal, you know. I think we went to like a dinner, like a group of us or something, you know. And I like was staying with my friend, like John Hayden, like this super nice guy from Huntington Beach. And like, he was like, yeah, you can borrow like my wife's sister car, you know, but you have to really be careful with it, you know. And I was like, everything was good, you know, and then after dinner, like, I go to back out and like just the whole fucking side like against like a concrete pillar, and I was like, oh no, like went out and like car is completely ruined, and I was like, these guys are like looking at me, and I'm like, oh man, like this is so bad, like.
Dude, I totally forgot about that. It just like popped into my head.
That's why I'm so happy you're on here. That is fucking
I had some
amazing.
explanation to do for his wife and the sister, you know. It was not a good situation.
Oh man,
I
that's
bet.
so brutal.
Hey, Kareem, real quick, can you turn your camera with more space onto you? Because sometimes you're going out of the picture.
Like
Just-
this?
Yeah, just turn it. Yeah, there you go. So you're more in the picture.
Because
in the center.
now
You
it's
keep-
sideways, like this. Should I go like that?
No, it's just good. I'm just saying, like, what make it so you stay in the center of the frame because you keep going. When you're moving, you're going out of it.
Okay. Sure.
Was it your first fucking rodeo?
Backside rodeo?
What was the other story you thought about, Eddie? I have to hear this.
Well, dude, this was actually crazy. And again, I knew, you know, coming into this to try to think of some stories, but I was like, well, I'm sure right when I get on the call, like all these things are going to come back. But Kareem, do you remember there was like a really big flat down concrete ledge, but in the landing there was a small 3-stair rail that was all rusty and we were going to cut it out?
Yeah.
And dude, and so yes, big ledge. It was like perfect ledge actually. Did you ever hit that?
No, that has never been hit so far, actually. Like that one is like so good, but nobody ever hit it because, yeah, it has that rail that we try to eliminate.
Yeah. So Stevie, in the landing, it's like this perfect down, like for a regular foot backside, probably like 15, 20 stair down flat down concrete ledge with a drop on one side, the most perfect rail ever, or it's like a ledge. But in the landing, there's like a little 3-stair rail and it's like kind of going the other way. And there's just a little railing, but it was this old rusty thing that was like already kind of loose and everything. So, but you can't hit the rail. You couldn't hit the ledge with that there. Like you would just like T-bone right into it. So I told Kareem, I was like, hey, let's get like a Sawzall, like you know, and cut this thing off, you know, and he was like, yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, that's pretty sketchy. And like, if we get busted, like we're going to get in a lot of trouble. And I was like, yeah, but it's not, this is like, it's already an old handrail. It's 3 steps. It's not like it's not like that big of a deal. So like, let's just try it. So we go there and like, we're starting, and it was nighttime. It was probably like, well, actually, it's like always nighttime during the winter, so I don't even know what time it was. But it was dark, and we're like cutting this thing. No, but I do think it was like 8 or 9 o'clock because I remember like some people's lights were off because there was an apartment building, and then we were like, and then you'd see like a light turn on and another light turn on, and like people like you could see them like looking out, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. And Kareem, I just remember looking around, and he was just like, dude, this is so sketchy. And then right then, these like I think it was a security guard. I don't think it was a police officer. It could have been.
No, it wasn't cops, but I think it was like security, like yeah.
Yeah, it was security came up and they're like, "What are you guys doing?" And Kareem just looks at me like, like, "Oh my God, we're gonna go to prison."
No,
like,
dude.
yeah, and I literally was just like, didn't know what to say. And I just looked and I saw like some graffiti on the wall. And I was just like, oh, I was like, man, they have us out here doing, what is it, like public service? Like public, like what happens if you get in trouble and they make you do like
like community service.
Community service. I was like,
yeah.
we're doing community service, and I was like, look at this railing, it's all rusty. They're making us remove this right now. And the guy's like, they look at each other and they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, like we got in trouble. And I look and I was like, because we were spray painting, we did graffiti, and we got busted. So now they have us doing community service. And I was like, this is really annoying. And then I was like, they're up the people who run the program are up at the top of the stairs if you want to go up there, but it was like pretty far away. And I was like. And I'm basically just complaining, and they're like, "Why are you speaking such good English?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm like here on an exchange program, like all of like making all this stuff up." The whole time, Kareem's just like dead quiet, looking at me like, "What are you saying right now?" And then I literally was just like, "Well," I was like, "Hey, I don't want to get in trouble. We have to finish this by like 9 o'clock. We only have 15 minutes. Can you just let me get back to work?" And they literally. They're like, oh, okay. And then they just start walking away, and I start grinding it again. And as soon as they kind of get slightly away, I'm like, yo, let's get out of here. We like run up and dive in the car and drive away. And Kareem was like, dude, that was so sketchy. Like,
fuck, that's crazy, dude. That is so insane.
Yeah, I was just picturing going to like a Swedish prison, like, oh man, like, but yeah, it was.
But you went to the prison on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna get there. Hold on. Let's not jump the gun, Kareem. We are definitely going to get there. We got to talk shop in Sweden first, because that's kind of where we're at. So we're like, was this ledge in Sweden?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
And
right
Kareem
next to City Hall, like, and next to like one of the biggest police stations in Stockholm.
And you didn't think at all to jump in and start speaking Swedish and like back up his story? You just let the
I
American
don't know,
guy tell
like
the
he
story?
was doing pretty good, and like to be honest, I didn't know what to say. So I was like, all right, like yeah, you go, Eddie. Like sounds good to me. Like
that is insane. You think Kareem would jump in like, yeah, like whatever, like speaking Swedish and kind of back your story up? He just left you out there to dry, whether it was going to work or not.
Man.
What a teammate.
But I kind of figured like when you speak English, sometimes it's like even easier, like to get away with shit, So that's why
Right.
like I didn't even know if I was gonna speak Swedish or I was just gonna play along, being like American or something,
That is so epic. I never heard that story. I love that. That is fucking amazing. Well, I mean, since we're talking about spots, one thing that blew my mind was just filming out in Sweden is you never got busted for anything. Like you can't even set up a rail in America, especially in Utah, at this like back then and even now, without getting busted in like 5 minutes. That was the most epic thing I've ever like experienced. Was because that was my first European trip, was going to Sweden, which ended up being like probably my best European trip because we had unlimited budget, which we'll talk about that. But like, there's 3 things I remember about Sweden. Like, the first thing was never got busted. The second thing, it was hard as hell to focus because there's always packs of tens walking by, and I'm talking about women. And then the third thing is like all the taxi cabs were 5 and 7 Series Benzes, and I was just fucking flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really get busted here. Like, it only happened me once ever that I got busted, and that was with Jake Welsh, and we were hitting like a big rail outside of a university, like middle of the day, like so many people everywhere, and like it wasn't even the cops that kicked us out. It was like the principal of the university that came out and like just like wasn't having it, and like, but to be honest, like we sawed off like a big piece of metal there, like 2 nights before, like, and then like I started like, Jake, maybe it's not worth it, maybe we should, like just pack up and go, like, because it was like, yeah, you can like go to for vandalism and stuff, and like we put like a work cone over it so you wouldn't like notice that it was cut off, and like at that point when that guy was going, I was like, ooh, like it's not worth having him call the cops, like let's just bail now and get away with it,
That's epic.
Yeah, I know once in Finland, well, 2 quick Finnish stories. Like when we were filming in Helsinki, one time the cops came and they were we were hitting this rail that came out into a street, and it was a pretty mellow side street. So there weren't that many cars, but every once in a while a car came, and the cops came up and they're like, hey, like this looks a little dangerous because you're like coming out into the street. And we're like, oh man, we're going to get kicked out. And they were like, while you hit this, would you like us to stand in the street and like we'll stop any cars coming for you? And we're like, yeah, that'd be great. So like, I'm like, where is this paradise that we've just landed in? And then another one is we were lighting up a king trail at the bottom of like an apartment complex. And so we had and it was probably like 9 or 10 at night, and we had a generator to light up the rails. So the generator is going, and the manager of the apartment complex comes out, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, we're filming this rail. And he was like, oh, yeah, that generator is pretty loud. And he's like, it's kind of getting late. And I'm like, oh, man, we're going to get kicked out. And he's like, hey, I have a 100-foot extension cord. He's like, why don't we just plug the lights inside my apartment, and I'll run it inside the building and plug them in for you. And we're like, where are we? This is the best place ever. And then he did it. We turned off the generator, plugged it into inside the apartment, and then filmed there for like 2 hours and all got tricks. Like, pretty wild.
That is epic. That is like, that will never happen in America. Like, they're so quick to call the cops on you. Like, they're not trying to help you at all. For one, like, they're just like, they think we're just vandals and criminals. And what are we up to? We're ruining public property. But like, to have someone be like, oh, you want to go plug it in? Oh, you want me to stop cars? Like, that's fucking, it's mind blowing. It's so sick.
Yeah.
Different mentality over there, you know?
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think it basically comes down to lawyers, because everybody in the U.S. is like, oh, we're just going to if you get injured, we're going to get sued. Whereas in Europe and basically every other country, they're like, well, if you get injured, you're an idiot for trying to snowboard on a handrail, and good luck. Like, and they're not going to get sued because there aren't like a billion lawyers in every country. You actually have to take responsibility for yourself, you know?
Which I like that much better, because it's like, hey, if I play stupid games, I get stupid prizes, that's on me. Like, you know, like, that's on me, you know? And so it's like, over here, it's like, everybody's so, like, sue happy, it kind of sucks. But, I mean, it is what it is, but... So, I mean, Sweden was amazing, and I want to, like, touch on the subject of Sweden since we're there. Kareem, I know that you were, like, such a good host, like, showing us all these spots that had never really been hit. And when I look back, and I know, Eddie, you said you took a second to look at that movie and looked at our video parts, like, to refresh your memory. But I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, 90% of my video part, even though it wasn't a super long video part, and we shared it, Kareem, but all my footage was pretty much in Sweden, like 80% Sweden, and the rest was in Finland. And then I had like maybe 1 or 2 shots outside of like in the U.S. So like, what do you guys feel like? Or sorry, let me go back to Kareem. What was your overall impression when you first met the crew when we came over there? Like, what were your thoughts? I got sidetracked.
I was just blown away. You know, like first crew came out was like Joni, Ika and Lauri, and like it was kind of natural because they lived in Helsinki and it was just a boat ride over. And I met JP and Joni that summer, and like I showed them a bunch of my footage and like showed them a bunch of spots, and they were like, wow, that looks amazing, you know. And then Joni, Ika and Lauri came over, and like I speak Finnish as well, so it was like kind of natural hanging out with them, and they were like really amazed how good it was. And I think after that first trip with them, like 1 or 2 weeks, they just called everyone and like, hey guys, you guys need to come over here. And that's when you guys pretty much took over Lidmar and like stayed there for like 3 months, you know.
The best time.
That's my next topic I wanted to talk about, was like the Lidmar. I want to play a little game really quick. Do you guys remember how much our bill was from the Lidmar?
I do.
Kareem, do you know how much it was?
I don't know. I wasn't staying there, but like I was like
pretty
amazed
much were there every day, buddy.
I knew it was like a really expensive hotel, and like I would just like come up and like hang out with the rooms, and you guys would just like get trays of like Heinekens and like snacks and shots, and I was like, who is paying for this? And they're like, oh, don't worry about it, man, it's on the budget. And I was like, I love this budget, this is amazing.
Oh man,
Eddie, I'll let you answer. How much was the Lidmar bill?
I think all said and done, I remember Evan Rose saying it was 68,000.
The bill, and I'll have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure when I double checked it with Kevin Keller and Knox, it was almost 90K total.
Holy smokes!
Do you know how many lobster spring rolls we ordered?
And you gotta
I
realize
remember.
that's only hotel rooms, booze, and snacks. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like then there was
yeah.
like other
And but that's
costs.
like yeah, but we also had like we would do breakfast and like dinner there pretty much like unless we went out to go eat, but we pretty much ate at the Lidmar almost like if correct me if I'm wrong, like pretty much 80% of the time because the food was insane.
Yeah. And I remember, I remember once we were like partying up in Travis Kennedy. Like he just ordered, he just called the front desk and he'd just be like, "Bring us one of everything on the menu." Like, dude, it was just so ridiculous. Like, and they just bring up like 30 plates. Just, it was so crazy.
Do you remember, Eddie, when we had been there for like a long amount of time? But do you remember when we all went from like our individual rooms and then they moved us like? Remember there was like a prince or something staying above us, and they moved us to like that super insane like flat like but just below him, and it had a private elevator that kind of just came there, and we would just be like, hey, like, can we get like 15 Heinekens, some lobster spring rolls, and a couple other things? And they stopped coming up to our room. They would just put the shit in the elevator on a tray, send it up to us. We'd offload it and send the tray back down. You remember that, Eddie?
Yeah, I do. And like, yeah, so what happened was, so we were all staying there for so long, and then it was like a holiday weekend or something. And by that time we knew all the employees, we knew the manager, everything. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, like this weekend, the whole hotel is sold out. And, you know, your rooms that you're staying in are like sold out." Because what we would do is like, we didn't really necessarily know we were going to be there for like 2 months or whatever. We just stayed for like 2 weeks, and then we're like, "Oh, let's re-up our rooms for another week," and then re-up them for another 2 weeks, whatever. And so at some point, all of our rooms were booked out, and they were like, "Dude, you guys all," and I remember talking to the manager and being like, "Man, well, we don't want to leave, you know," and I know he didn't want us to leave because we were spending so much money. So he was like, "Wait, I have an idea," and he's like, "Would all of you want?" So the whole, basically, is the whole top floor was completely, it was one room, so like a huge penthouse suite that was, and he was like, "Would you guys, we can bring cots up there if you all will stay in this penthouse suite." And we were like, "For sure." And like, so we just had to stay there for like 2 or 3 nights, but we just, because we all like wheel our bags up there, and then all of a sudden it's like the entire top floor of this hotel, and we're just like, "What?" And it was so nice, you know? And so, yeah, we just started partying so hard, and yeah, we kept calling down to the lobby and ordering stuff, and eventually, yeah, they stopped coming up, and they'd open the doors would just like bing, and they would open it, just be a whole tray of Heinekens, and we just wheel them out into the room. And man, it was so insane. And like, I remember the whole staff, they were all coming up and partying in the room with us, and like, it was so fun.
Yeah, that was an epic time. Kareem, but that is the Lidmar still there?
No, remember they was going out of business. They like made shirts. Pettit got one that said "Save the Lidmar."
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No, I didn't get one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't pay their mortgage for another 3 years. How long we were there?
That was like pretty short after you guys, after that winter. I think they had to remove. Like, I think they built like a bank or something there. I'm not sure, but they had to move the hotel, and they moved it like not far away, but it wasn't the same ever again. That was like an era that was like,
Well,
yeah,
after
just
we left,
special.
we
You know?
probably changed it. Well, one thing I loved about the Lidmar too was like there were so many spots that were just around the corner, and I don't know if you remember this, Eddie, but Kareem was the king of being like, "Oh, dude, like I know this super sick spot, dude. That's like 10 minutes away, man." We get in the car a fucking hour later. Like, dude, 10 minutes. This is a lot longer than 10 minutes. Oh my God. I stopped believing you after a while. I was like, fuck this guy. I know it's at least an hour. I'm taking a nap in the back.
Yeah, in my head it was like 10 to 20 to go everywhere, but you know, shit happens, and traffic and whatnot, and time optimism, you know, and but yeah, that's like Lidmar was like, you were staying really in the city center. You were also staying like right next to the biggest party area with all the nightclubs and the bars, and like you were like really right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I know.
This episode is brought to you by BYOB, Be Your Own Banker. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only 2 types of people in the world: people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money.
But there wasn't that park that we all got shots in. That we were in that park for what, like 3 or 4 days. Like, Eddie, that's where you all into the tree, which is still one of my favorite shots. Or like, was it under the tree or was it through the tree? I can't remember exactly what shot it was. You want to talk about that shot? Because I remember that being like, in my mind, I don't, not to be negative, I was just like, there's no way he's gonna make this happen. That was so gnarly. But then I look back and I'm like, oh, I see his vision, and obviously you did it. But let's talk about that shot in that park, Kareem. After Eddie goes up, I want to talk about that park. So
Yeah, well, quick side note, that park, which is
yeah,
super funny, Pierre Wickberg, who filmed robot food movies and all of those, DC Mountain Lab, he, up until very recently, lived very close to that park. And so when we all filmed there, he was like, wait, what? Like, you guys were able to come up with like that much footage at that little park? And then every time, like in the summers and stuff, he'd always send me photos of like the bowl and the
sick.
gap and everything. And he'd be like, oh, this is where, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was wild. That park was like, for some reason, we just posted up and everybody just wander around and be like, what can we do here? And we ended up just getting so many different clips. I mean, honestly, it was like almost like a through story to the whole film of that. And but yeah, that clip. What's actually really funny is because that was like, so the way that maybe you'll be able to show footage of this, but like it was
absolutely.
it was like a kinked ledge, like stairs that went down, and then above that was like a railing, and then above that was like a gap. And so basically I was like gapping off a wall, over a railing, down over a ledge, and then catching this very small transition. And then when you land, you have to ride away and then drop off another kind of 5-foot drop or something. And it didn't seem like it was going to be that gnarly at first, but then I realized like I couldn't really pop because there was this curved branch. And when you watch the footage, I'm like popping, but my back's hunched over, and I'm like just barely missing. And if I clip that, like I'm going to get slung down into like the stairwell and get really messed up. And anyways, yeah, so I was trying it a bunch, and it's like just getting pounded into the ground, and then just at the end just reshaped the landing a little bit and ended up getting the shot, and it ended up being my ender. But the weird thing is that it was shot from straight on, and there's not a shot of it from the side. And the side kind of shows all the weird shit that I'm gapping over and the kind of the distance of it. And the straight on shot, it shows that I'm like almost hitting that branch, and it shows the small transition, and then I'm like pop off that wall and almost hit the lamppost. But it's funny because I always thought that was like, it was such a gnarly spot in real life. And personally, I always thought that the footage never really did it justice. And I always thought it was like almost like an underwhelming ender. Like, oh man, like out of all the gnarly shit that we did, like it just didn't like look that crazy on film to me. Which is something like to this day, I'm always like, God damn it. Like my ender didn't feel like a hammer, you know what I mean? But I know in person, like it was really sketchy and gnarly, but yeah, anyways, but yeah, it's funny you brought that up.
Yeah, when you were like
helping you show
I'm
up.
gonna when you were like I'm gonna hit this, I was like, what do you mean? Like what hit what? Like like where you going?
Same.
Like you're like, yeah, I'm gonna jump here and land there, and I was like, where's the landing? Like there's no landing. And it's like
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is fucking crazy, man. And then you did it, and I was like, oh my god, like that's fucked up, man. Like
Yeah, that was a
And I
fun
was dude, that was insane too, because I was so new at filming at this level that it didn't make sense to me either. Like it made sense when we go hit a rail or a ledge, like all that made sense. But
Right.
like Eddie, you were kind of one of those people that kind of opened my eyes, and Pat was good at this too. But like in the creativity realm, like where you were like, where like that spot we're talking about, like you were just like when you said what you were gonna do, on my mind I was like, this is what like. And then we just started like I was like, cool, whatever. I'll just help you shovel. We're just shoveling it, and I was just like in awe. And then after that moment when you did it, I was like, dude, like, okay, so snowboarding's not just rails and ledges. Like there's a lot of creativity. And then
Yeah.
the rest of the time we just like filming in that park. I think I had like 3 or 4 shots in that park alone.
Yeah.
You know, for like we hit that ledge, the bull, and then like the little bears, the fuck yeah, and then and then the rail. Like, Kareem, what's the name of that park? And have you seen any other footage from that park for like after that movie?
that park is called Björns trädgård, and it's like Bjorn's garden. And like when we went there, we kind of went there, or like I took you guys there to show you the rail that was there, you know. And then like everyone kind of looked at the rail, but then like everyone was like, what, like look at this, oh look at that, like whoa look at this. And like suddenly like everyone was setting up like different spots on things that
Yeah.
I was like, what, like what are you gonna what, oh okay. You know, like, and everyone got like super creative there, you know. But after it has been hit with a few crews, and actually that down rail was hit a year or two before by Nicky Viveg, this guy that was from Sweden that was riding for Grenade and M3 and these brands, and he took over. I think there's a few shots in the Grenade, like old Grenade movies from that park, like so they hit that down rail. And then also after that somebody hit, like there was a quad kink next to the mosque. I don't know if we ever hit that, but I think Haldor has hit that, and like a few other guys afterwards, but not many people have really been there. You guys kind of shut it down.
Yeah, we hit every
Hey, look,
square inch of
I
that
found.
park.
Look,
Oh,
That's
sick.
the ramp.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is
Eddie, please send that over to me.
and then yo, this look, that's in the penthouse at the Lidmar. This is like
yeah, that's so sick.
that's a photo of me sitting at the table in the penthouse.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah.
You have these photos still.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
get these photos from you, Eddie, and we'll put them on this episode because those are epic photos.
Oh, Kareem, look, I have this photo. This is where you got stuck. Wait, where is it? In this thing.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. We hit the
I don't know how
art
to-
museum, like, yeah, and I was gonna stall it, and I like slipped through, and like I got caught, like hanging upside down, you know, like stuck with my board there. Yeah, I remember that.
That was
Isn't that
I
your
think
opening
that's
shot to your video part?
it is.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, to
Yeah.
Kareem's part. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's like my first shot. I get stuck in that. I'm not sure. Like, I
It
think
is,
so.
yeah.
But yeah, it's in there. Like. And that was also like, you know, like
Yeah, that's-
arts
that's-
museum, like modern arts museum, and we're just like, fuck it, let's snowboard this piece of art, like, you know, like why not? And like nobody said shit, you know, like we just did it, and like fuck it, you know, like it's all good.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I mean, after being there for so long and never getting kicked out, my confidence was sky high on things that we could film on. So I was, yeah, whatever. I don't think I was actually. I think I went home before you got that shot, Kareem. But yeah, there's a lot of good memories. Do you guys have? What's your most memorable moment of being in Sweden? Do you guys have like a top story or a moment, whether it's a shot or a party or any of that?
I'll let Kareem go.
Well, there's so many, but like partying slash like actual also stepping up to snowboarding is like what we discussed before, like with Travis, when you guys like we went like out partying and stuff, and then like you guys were like, yeah, we're gonna go to the strip club, and I was like, ooh. Like they're not the same in Sweden, man. Like I'm not going, you know. And like you guys went to the strip club and you got like robbed by so much money. They tried to like overcharge you cards. Like you guys basically didn't sleep all night. Like I came there the next day like super tired, and you guys were like, fuck, we didn't sleep at all. Like we've been up all night, like you and Kennedy. I was like, oof, like we're gonna hit something pretty gnarly today, you know. Like and we went to this double kink that was like super sketchy, like pretty long and really narrow in the stairs, like, and yeah, Travis was still drunk, man. Like he was like still party mode, you know, and he was like, fuck it, let's get this shit done, and like just dropped in, like tried a 50, like went to the side, and then he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. Did like a front board, like I don't remember if he like did one try or if he like on the first or second try just fucking stomped it and like rode out, and I was like, I hadn't even like started like getting warmed up like to ready to hit it, like, and I was like, what the fuck, you know, like and he just fucking landed his ender like right there, like drunk as fuck, like 9 a.m. with no sleep, you know, and like you looked like a mess, and like me too, and I was like, then you hit it and you like fucked yourself, like your like wrist or something broke it, and like then I chipped my like elbow. Like there's a shot of it in the end of my part, like where I get stuck and like flipped around and like chipped my elbow, and like you and me ended going to the hospital, you know, and like Travis is like, let's get some drinks. Like fuck man, like
Fuck that guy, dude. Let me just add a little like context to that story. So we were all out. I think we were all sending it that night too. I think we all were out as a crew, but everybody was smart enough to go home at a decent time. Me and Kennedy sent it a little longer, but we were on our way back to the hotel. And this black one, I'll never forget. This black limo pulls up, and like this girl and this dude were like, "Yo, you guys want to go to the strip club?" But they're speaking kind of Swedish, but in broken English. And me and Travis look at each other like, "Fuck it, let's go," you know. And we're already, you know, kind of on one. And I just remember, I'm like, dude, like in my mind, like I get out the limo, and I'm like, dude, I think we should probably go home. Travis like, no, dude, like, come on, dog, let's just go for a little bit, dog. I'm like, all right, but I'm like, only one condition: your card's going on file, not mine. So we go there, and we're just hanging out with these girls, and I'm like halfway falling asleep, dude. And then finally, I'm like, Travis, I'm leaving. So we didn't know kroners, or what is it, Swedish kroners, and the American conversion was not what we calculated. We ended up getting out of there, and our bill was like $2,300, which we thought was like $230. We were like, what the fuck? We're like, fuck. And I'm like, I just look at Travis like, sucks to be you. And so we leave there, and he's so mad. But by the time we get to the hotel, I realize it's like 6:45. We got to be in the lobby at 7. So we run upstairs, like brush our teeth. Travis is drinking a Heineken still that's like warm and left over from the night before. And we just like threw on a gear, and we just look at each other like, oh, well, fuck it. So we go down, meet you guys, act like we slept, like everything's all normal. And we go to the rail, and in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, I do not want to snowboard right now. And then like seeing Travis get his trick and then me going down made me so pissed. I was like, I can't stand this dude. He just nailed his trick, and I'm over here in the hospital with Kareem. But he was the king of that shit, though. Travis Kennedy could party all night and snowboard all day and not affect him.
Yeah, so gnarly. So crazy. And that was, like Kareem said, that was his ender too. Like,
yeah.
It was like one of the gnarliest tricks in the whole video, and he did it like straight from the club.
Literally.
Yeah.
And have you got any most memorable moments from being in Sweden?
I mean, honestly, like taking over the whole top floor and like partying, that was pretty epic. I also remember one thing I forgot to say is like that night when we first all moved out of our room and went up there, and everyone was partying and they're sending all the drinks up and food with like nobody, just unloading cases of beers and champagne and stuff. And then, but the funny part is like at one point later in the evening, we invited up all the staff, and which was at that time, it was just a couple people, but I think we were partying and it was like super loud and people were trying to call the front desk to like complain, but all the front desk were in our room partying. And like that to me is just so epic that like when all the hotel guests are complaining, but the employees are all wasted in our room. Yeah, that to me honestly is just the standout. But yeah, trick wise, there's a really long down rail there. That kind of has like kind of blocks on one side. But for a goofy footer, it's front side. I did front nose press. Kareem, I think you did back 5-0 front 1. It's like really long, and like halfway down, there's a little thin gap in it. It's like a thin flat rail, but you'll recognize it if you see it. But anyways, that was like, to me, I got a front nose press on that, and it just was like one of the best feelings ever. And Mathis got like a really sick photo of that one, I remember. But yeah, it was more the Lidmar was like the fucking best part, because I mean, we just like, it's so fun when you stay somewhere long enough that you become friends with the locals and the staff, and like you just roll in like you own the place, and you know, like, I don't know, that was dope.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Lidmar was the highlight of my trip. Like just the way we're eating like kings the whole time and snowboarding. It was epic. And yeah, I mean, there's so many stories we can go down, but the Lidmar was super epic.
And that was like one of the most like popular, artsy, like expensive hotels in Sweden.
Yeah. We didn't even really set that up, but yeah, it was like a dope, like the coolest, like hipster art hotel ever. Like, you know, if you were a cool band or artist or whoever, like that's going to be where you're going to be staying. And it wasn't just like taking over a Hilton or something, which also would have been just as fun, but like it was just like the hotel itself was so cool, and like you said, the food was super good, the bar was fun, and like, yeah, but it was good times.
Actually, I can't remember who was with me, but at one point, one day, I remember I got stuck in the elevator for like 30 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know who was with me. I want to say it was Travis, and I want to say Travis is dumbass, like, because you remember how the elevator was like not like a full closed elevator, but I just had to get. I think he put his boot out and like it caught the lip and it stopped the elevator. So we were like just high enough to be in the shaft, but we weren't down in the lobby anymore, and we were stuck there for like 30 minutes. And I'm just looking at him like, dude, I'm so tired. Why would you pull that dumb shit right now? Like,
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
Yeah. Oh, remember Pettit had a room. He got a room for like at one point. I don't know. They had to switch him or something. He was in a room, and the entire room was a mirror. Like
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, all the walls. It was the coolest thing. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, because
Sounds like a sex
every
room
room
to
was
me.
different. Like every room was like they had different art and different looks. Like none of the rooms were like the same, you know.
Yeah.
Damn. No, I don't remember. Do you have photos of that, Eddie?
Yeah, I have one. I can show it to you.
Yeah, just send them over to me because I want to add it to this episode because there's some epic ones. I think at this point too, like, and Eddie, you've filmed for prior projects before the Forum video, but I just remember like very vividly just becoming so exhausted at the end of the Swedish part of this trip before we went to Finland, like snowboarding for 5 to 10 seconds at a time. I just started to just wear down, and I just feel like I was just progressively getting worse at snowboarding the whole time we're filming that when we were out there. Did anybody else experience that? You were kind of a seasoned vet at that time, but
Yeah,
me
no.
your
To me,
experience.
it was just like another film trip. Just like get as many clips as possible and then move on. Yeah.
For
Pretty
me, it
well,
was
though.
definitely like something new because like I'm used to like snowboard actually, you know, like you go to the local hill or like ride, you know, and like get your tricks up, and there was like no room for that because you guys were like coming in and out, and like not all of you were staying the whole thing, but I was like there from the beginning to the very last person, and that was on for like 2-3 months, like literally like every day. So like I didn't like that's probably the season when I did the least snowboarding in my life. Like if you like talk like real snowboarding, you know, that was just like basically work. And like I never been in like a professional crew like that, only like filming with the homies, you know, and keeping it loose and getting up when we get up, you know, and like but this was like we're meeting in the lobby at 8 or like 7 and like every day, and then some like maybe like next like in the night we'll hit like another spot again, you know, and it would be like that all the time every day for months in a row, you know. So that was pretty crazy. Like I learned a lot though, you know, like I was like, okay, this is how it's done, you know, and like that totally changed my whole perspective on how to work for like a video part. Like also like the group feeling, you know, like everyone was kind of helping out each other, you know, and like setting up spots with each other, and like it was just like really really productive, like considering all the partying as well, you know.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, I think that was something we were able to do well, was like, because we always talk about all the partying and stuff, but the reality is that we were fucking putting in serious work, and
yeah.
and you know, we weren't just over there partying. I mean, if you actually go back and look at that movie, I mean, I'd say 80% of the footage in the entire film was shot in those 2 or 3 months. So it's like, that even goes back to like how much it costs, because sometimes I'm like, damn, I feel like kind of guilty about spending that much money, but then I'm like, no, we filmed the entire movie there basically. And so, but yeah, it is interesting when because I instantly, like, I filmed my first video part, but the second video part I filmed was with like Mac Dog and Kevin Jones, and Kevin is one of the most like professional get work done dudes ever, hence his like insane career. But like, so for me, that was just like that's how I learned to film, was like, when you're filming, you are on point. You are there to get the job done. You're there to work hard. You're there to film 2-3 spots a day minimum. And like, but then, you know, it's like when we all get together and we're having a good time, it's like, all right, we clipped up today. All right, let's go celebrate, you know? And that's like, that makes it, you know, that much better.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like obviously that was my first. I filmed One Love prior to that, but it wasn't like on this level. Not saying that the production and all that wasn't on that level, but just like the amount of shit that we got done in a day was insane for how many riders we had there. Like, and one thing I like too about it is like everybody was willing to help. Everybody was I never felt like we had any tension. Like sometimes we'd be like, oh, we're gonna call out tricks. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know, lucky you're Eddie. You're lucky. You're always a goofy footer, and everybody else was fucking regular, so it wasn't hard for you. But like, I just feel like everybody was.
I still remember like you and Travis always pulling up to a spot before you could like even see it. Steve, you'd be like shotgun switch press back 180, and Travis would be like, no, I'm gonna do back lift. No, I was gonna do that. I was gonna, and you're like, no, dude, I just called it. It was like the biggest argument. Like, it's so funny, dude.
And then when we get there, none of us do any of those tricks. We're like, oh, never mind, you can have that trick, dog, go ahead.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, maybe I'll just do a 50-50 on this.
Yeah, like, we're just claiming way too early and it biting you in the ass. Like, oh, you said you're going to do it, dog. And then Pettit always kind of, and Kearns always kind of look at you like side-eyed, like, oh, you said you're going to do backflip 270, bro. Now you're doing a back 5-0? What happened?
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that was good times. But now switching gears, I know we were in Sweden and we like exhausted all the spots there, even though I know there's probably more spots. But then we decided to take the party boat, of all things, to Finland. And that was another very, very epic part of our journey. And since I'm going to pass this over to you, Eddie, and I'm going to let you co-host this thing, but I'm going to let you start by telling the story from your perspective and your short-lived boat ride over to Finland. Go ahead and elaborate how that story goes, please.
Oh man, yeah, this is a tough one. And yeah, it's actually funny. This was, I think, when I first showed up. It was like maybe right after like Ika and Lowry and that whole crew was there, and then they're like, "Hey, you got to come to this place or come to Sweden, to Stockholm, stay at the Lidmar." So I flew there and I was like checking in with all my bags, and I'm literally got to the hotel after traveling, 16 hours or 20 hours, whatever. I was so tired. And then I'm like, all of a sudden I see Ika and those guys come down and they have their bags. So this is like before I think because I think when I showed up, basically landed in Stockholm, so tired, ready to just like crash out. And then I get into the lobby and then those guys' bags are in the lobby. And I was like, what the heck? Why are your bags packed up? And it was raining. And they're like, dude, we're going to go over to Helsinki because it's raining here and then we'll come back. And I think that's how it went down in my head. Like we went to Finland, filmed a little bit, then came back. And then that's when like we had the whole like Lidmar stint, at least for me. I think that's how it went in my head. But anyways, we're in Stockholm and I'm like, okay, are we flying over to Finland? And they're like, no, there's this party boat. You can get on the boat at like 5 p.m. and like everyone just like parties all night, and it gets into Helsinki at like you go across the Baltic Sea, and it's middle of winter. It's like freezing cold, but you get to go on this like party, like small kind of cruise boat, and then get over to Helsinki and film there. But it takes like almost, I think you leave at like 5 p.m. and you arrive at 7 in the morning or something like that. So we get on the boat and instantly we're like, okay, let's go get drinks. Of course, it's our whole crew, right? And we're like, let's go get drinks. So we go to the kind of like cafeteria, and lo and behold, there's just beer on tap. You can just get your own beer and just fill it up. So I get this like wheelie cart that's like for trays, and I move all the trays and I just fill up like 20 or 30 beers, and I like wheel them to the table, and everyone's like, oh, and we just start pounding drinks and get super drunk like right out of the gates. Like we're on the boat for like an hour and everyone's like so drunk already. So then basically I'll just say it. Like, so Sean Kearns is just kind of like digging into me. If anyone knows Kearns, he's good at finding your weakness and poking it. And so I was wearing like a Video Gangs hat, and he was like picking on the fact that I was wearing a Video Gangs hat because we were filming for a different movie. And anyways, so he like rips my hat off my head, and I was all mad. And I was pretty drunk and hungover, or drunk and jet lagged and so tired. And I like picked up a glass, and I was gonna like throw it at him, like, which is not characteristic to me. But I was like, anyways. But I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try to hit him because that'll be probably pretty bad. So I just like threw it next to him, and it shattered against a wall. And like right then, before I know it, boom! I get tackled by like 2 security guards. go into this little elevator, and it's like go to like the bottom of the ship, and I'm like, where am I? And we open the door, and it's like this concrete kind of what you would imagine the bottom of a ship looking like, and just like kind of nothing. And then there's a cell. There's a couple concrete cells, but they're just blocks, and then a metal door with like a window like this big, and they just open the door and they're like, stay in here for a while, and shut the door. Oh, first they take off my like shoelaces, belt, all that stuff, you know, so I don't like hang myself or some shit. And so they like take all my stuff and put me in this thing. And the thing that I think really messed me up was that they said like, stay in here for a little bit and then slam the door. So in my head, I'm like, okay, a little bit, like what's that, an hour or something, like timeout kind of. And it was like pretty chilly because the thing was just a concrete box, nothing in it except for like a little metal toilet. That's it. And this light and a fan, and the light was super bright and the fan was like really loud. And so I'm sitting in there, and of course there's some dude in the cell next to me. I think he was just like laying on his back, kicking the metal door and screaming non-stop for like hours, just and I'm just like super wasted dude, just mad. So I take my shirt off, I like wrap it around my ears. I'm trying to deal with that. And then the trippiest thing is that there's no windows. I don't have a watch. They took all my phone, like everything. So you have no sense of time. And that is like the weirdest thing in the world. And it's hard to explain if you had, I'd never had experienced that. So I would fall asleep for like an hour and wake up and I'm like, did I just nod off for 10 minutes or did I sleep for 3 hours? Like, I have no fucking idea. There's no way to tell. And so then I'd like go back to sleep, wake up. And then I'd hear like you're on the very bottom of the ship. So you'd hear, cause you're going through like ice and like icebergs. So you hear like, like under the boat. And then, so then I start getting in my head. I'm in there for like hours and hours and I start tripping out. And then, so then I start thinking, oh, like for a while it was like dead quiet. So then in my mind, I'm like, dude, did we get to Helsinki? And then they're going to turn around and go all the way back to Sweden to like arrest me or something. So I'm like, I'm going to be in this thing for another like 16 hours or whatever. And I was like freaking out. Then I was like, what if the boat sinks and like I'm at the bottom of and they're not going to come rescue me. Like what if everyone's going to bail and then I'm going to drown in this thing. And then I started really freaking out. Like, what if the boat sinks, but then this thing is airtight and then I'm just at the bottom of the ocean. It like just stand like, you know what I mean? Like anyways, it was like the worst experience of my life. And basically kind of on and off sleeping, whatever. And then just laying on a concrete floor. And then finally like get a knock on the door. And this dude is like, he opens the door and he goes, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do or say will be used against you. And I was like, oh shit, like I'm going to get arrested. And then he's like, ha ha ha. He's like, I've heard that in American movies. and then he's like, we don't say that here. He's like, here's your stuff, get off the ship. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I like walk upstairs and everybody's like leaving the boat. And I like go up to my room and grab my bag and like go off of the ship and like see all you guys there. And like Kearns is literally just like, oh yeah, here's your hat, dude. And like, I don't even know if he apologized. I was just like, I was so furious, dude, at that time. And like, yeah, it sucked, man. That was like a wake up call. Like that is I feel for anybody has to be in like solitary confinement or something. That shit's gnarly.
Yeah, that would be fucked. I remember that. I just remember like seeing the glass break and then you getting tackled within like a split second. So fast I was just like, holy shit, that happened. That escalated real quickly.
Yeah. Well, so actually,
whipped you away. Go ahead.
What did you guys just like keep partying all night? I don't even know what you guys did.
Dude, so after that, I just remember, like Carnes and JP, they kind of turn in early. But I remember it was just like, by that time, like you said earlier, as you elaborated, we were 2 sheets to the wind pretty quickly. So I remember people like kind of like just going to their room, just kind of sliding out, just every couple of minutes. And of course, me and Travis, we're going to try to just milk this thing as long as we can. But I remember me and Travis were sitting there, we were in the casino, chilling, having fun. So of course we went to the nightclub. We went to the nightclub, hung out. Me and Travis were sharing a room. And then I just met this lovely young lady that wanted to go to the room and talk. She wanted to know my story. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, you know. And I just like, I remember walking by Travis, tapping him on the shoulder, and like, you have to sleep in the hallway tonight. And I'm walking by him, and that's all I really remember of the night. And then I just remember waking up in the morning and like walking out there, and I just look over to the right, and Travis Kennedy's just in fetal position in the hallway, sleeping. And I just remember when I woke him up, he was literally ready to go fists with me because he was so pissed that he had to sleep in the hallway. Because, you know, Travis is like, oh, dog, I'm pull this girl, dog. Like, you know, like, you'll be sleeping in the hallway. But he was just, like, so mad that, like, the roles were reversed and he had to sleep in the hall. We were literally, like, about to fight for, like, a full day. I don't know if you guys remember us arguing all the way to the Klaus K. Like, we were just going at it forever. And I'm just like, dude, just leave it alone. Like, it is what it is, you know? But, yeah, that was... And then I just remember getting off the ship and just being so fucking dizzy.
Oh, yeah.
That's, just so dizzy. But yeah, that's how that night went. It was pretty wild.
And the funniest thing is that my room had an empty bed in it.
Yeah, but nobody had her key. Yeah, that was epic.
Dude, that's so funny.
So, and then after that, wow, do you guys remember, like, well, we had that big ass van that we brought over from Sweden with a dropping ramp on top and all of our gear in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was Finland or whatever, or was it Sweden, but anyway, we'll get into it. But I just remember going to the Klaus K and just thinking to myself, what is this, the fucking Lidmar version 2?
Yeah. It's so funny because I forgot the name of that place. And then when you just said Klaus K, I was like, whoa. And yeah, again, like the dopest, sickest hotel in Finland where like all the cool people stay and they're at the club. It's like, it was, really fun times there again.
Yeah, Klaus K. I have my hotel room keys from the Lidmar and the Klaus K still.
No way.
Oh,
That's
I have all my hotel room keys from every hotel that I've stayed at, and I just remember the Lidmar one specifically. Kevin Kellerman, like, if you don't quit fucking stealing your hotel room keys, I'm tired of paying for them. And of course, I just continued to I kept stealing them. But the Lidmars was like this big gold, like kind of bronze, like kind of rectangle shape, and it had like this round end and like rubber on it, and then a key attached to it. So it was kind of like, I don't know, an expensive key when everything else was just a plastic key. And yeah, I just remember him being so fucking mad at it. So, but yeah, let's talk Finnish. Let's get into the. Go ahead.
By the way, that bus, didn't someone break the window of that van?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good memory. Yeah. Yeah, that was the intro to my part. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was at, I remember that rail is like just a down rail, but it was like a 3-flat. It was a round bar. I think, Kareem, you might have had like, you did like front board pop around. You did like front board pop around to board slide. And Stevie, you might have.
I think I
front
blonde
270 out.
Yes, exactly. And
that's the one I pinged the rail at first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just a stupid thing. Like, I was just backing up, like, at the rail spot, ready to leave. And, like, just shatter the back of the window. But again, that was a bad design because it's like the bumper was here and the window, it comes out, like, over here. So it's like, I'm like, that's a bad design. Like, the bumper should be there to stop you from hitting the window. And they shatter the window. I was like, and then Pettit's like, it's the bumper's fault, right? And then Stevie, you kind of like oh, go ahead.
-20, like -30, you know, like the window was like broken for the rest of the trip in Finland.
Yeah.
Dude, that was bad. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I remember that. I did the intro for you, Eddie, for your video part. Well, with that window broken.
Yeah, you're like, we don't call him Thrasher for nothing. You're like, dude, that was really funny. Yeah, that was, couple rental cars smashed.
Well,
you
know
were
the
good
saying,
with the
if it's a rental,
freestyles,
don't be
Eddie.
gentle.
Like, remember, like Stevie, I think Travis and you were like rapping all the time, like, and I remember you were pretty good, Eddie.
Thanks. Yeah, that was, we were freestyling a lot back then. Yeah, Kennedy was. I think, is that in that video too?
Yes, there is a rap in the end of that video. I think it's you and Travis.
Yeah, because Kennedy's like, in a one-night strife. I remember that.
Yeah.
He said something like, something wife and a one-night strife. And then there was like, Eddie, go. And I'm like, oh, and then the beat stopped. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yes. That was classic. That was a fun-ass trip, dude. Like, Finland was just another extension of Sweden, but like I remember. Do you guys remember how damn cold it was in Finland? It wasn't that cold in Sweden, but I remember Finland being fucking exceptionally cold.
Yeah, it was way colder there. It always is like. I think in general, like daytime was about -20, like Celsius, and then like evenings was like 30, like completely brutal. Like I don't even remember if we hit any night spots there because it was like too cold to like snowboard, like in the nighttime, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember one night spot, and this I don't know. This I might be wrong on this. I don't know if it was that, but I'm pretty sure it was that. But because I know we've gone back over there a couple times, but I remember. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I know Travis was there, but it was me, Travis, Yoni, and somebody else. I don't know if it was you, Eddie. I don't think you were on that. I don't know if you were there, Kareem. I don't remember, but like we were filming, it was super cold, and Yoni's like, oh, I don't want to fucking hit this thing. Let's go get some fucking sushi. I'm like, bro, we're not going to go to sushi right now. So we're filming this thing. It's super cold. It's late at night. We get our tricks. It's finally done. We start cleaning up the landing and the lip and shit, and Yoni goes, oh, fuck, I think I'm going to fucking backlip this thing to Yosemite. I'm like, right now? You couldn't have said that 2 hours ago? Like, what do you mean? And I just remember, like, and there wasn't a lot of room for a drop-in, so we had to just, like, swing, people in with the shovels. And I just remember after slinging Yoni in for 2, 3, I don't know how long it was. Love you, Yoni. But I just remember being so fucking sore and fatigued after that I literally was like, I don't think I can snowboard for a couple of days. But it was just funny because it's like we got everything cleaned up and then we had to put everything back together for Yoni to shoot it. And we were just like, dude, you could have just jumped in this section and we could have all been going. But like, fuck. Yeah, I don't know if that was that movie, but I just remember that and like, oh my God. So, Yoni is a character.
That sounds like a very Yoni move.
Let's talk shop on Finland. Like, Eddie, you got any stories or any topics you want to kind of go down from Finland? I know Finland is kind of vague in my mind as far as like Sweden. I remember everything, but what do you got? What topics you guys want to jump on the Finnish side of things?
No, I mean for that specific trip, I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of like blanking actually, except for like the Klauske, which was pretty fun. But like I do remember the Klauske was kind of funny because like we went and like. Because we knew we were going to be staying there for a little while, so we went and like bought magazines. I remember in our hotel room, like we hung up posters and stuff all over the walls, which was kind of funny because like there's all these photos and video footage, and we're in a hotel, but we all had posters hanging up on the walls. But yeah, I'm trying to think like, yeah, off the top of my head, I'm like, I remember way more about the Sweden part. I have like other Finnish stories and stuff, but. From other trips, but that specific one I'm like kind of blanking on a bit.
I think we were
like really go ahead, Kareem.
We weren't there that long. Like I think we only was there like a week or like 10 days because then it started snowing again in Sweden and then we just went back. So that was like a pretty short trip on that winter, you know.
Yeah. Did we? Yeah, I remember. I know one clip I think I had in that. It was like I think it's a wooden rail and it's like a down flat, long down, and I do like cab one hard way and then but 50-50 and kind of like that's like one of the only tricks I remember.
I think I almost got you killed there. Like, I don't know if you remember, but like I was supposed to be the spotter on the like I think that long rail you were talking about, like where you did the nose press and I did the backside 5-0. I think that rail is actually in Finland. And we hit that and we came out like on a big open.
Yeah.
Like it has like had like weird like flat stairs, like high ones on one side. Kind of sketchy. And then like a really long like flat bar. With the little cut in the rail and like I was like on spotting, like I think after I got my trick or whatever, like I was spotting for Eddie to make sure no one was coming, and then I like got caught slipping, you know, for like a millisecond, you know, but like there was a car coming and like I didn't like see it or whatever, I wasn't paying attention, and like Eddie had to like you had to like brutally like stop like right in front of the car because he like almost hit you or something, and I was like, oh no, like I fucked up, like that was so bad, like I still feel guilty for that, man. I'm like really sorry, man.
Well, it's so funny, Kareem, because I've always thought that was Kennedy. So I was gonna bring that up when I talked about it earlier. When I was gonna be like, yes, someone didn't spot me, and I could have sworn it was Kennedy, but good to know it was you. No, it was all good. But yeah, I remember being like, I usually don't get too bummed, but I remember being kind of pissed. I was like, what the heck, dude? Like, you got, like, I can't get smoked by a car on this trip, Is
that the one that goes out like the road and it also has like the merging where like the trains kind of merge right there too?
Yep. Yeah, it has like the tram.
Yeah, that long one. I think I have a I think I have a back 5.0 on that rail.
Okay, yeah, I think you do. And Mathis was shooting
yes.
that. Because I remember, but yeah, it's a really like cool, like a pretty picturesque spot. I might have a photo of it. Let's see.
Actually, it's funny now that we start talking about that rail. Do you guys remember the other spot that I almost want to say it was around the corner, but it was that flat down ledge. But Eddie, remember you filled in the snow on the bottom set of the stairs and you did the rail above it, 50-50 front 180 or front 3 or something into the stairs.
Yeah.
Remember that rail? And that one went right out to the train too. And I just remember, like, I don't know who was going, but I think I was spotting at this time because I have the clip of talking about the fucking Toblerone bar at that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was Ika was like 50-50 in the rail or Switch 50-50 in the rail or some shit. And I'm just like off in La La Land and he goes right by me and the train's coming. And he almost gets smoked by the train. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I think it was Ika anyways, but.
Yeah, and you were like, Toblerone, man, they got to get this in the U.S. And it's like, they do have it in the U.S. And you're like, oh shit.
Do you know how many Toblerone bars I've been given in my lifetime still to this day?
Because of that?
Yes.
That's so sick.
That's at least
amazing.
A couple, like 3 or 4 seasons, somebody brings me a Toblerone bar. Like
that's
Woodward
so dope.
or somewhere they see me at, and I'm just like, hell yeah, dude, I don't like these things anymore, but I'll take it.
That's so good.
What other, like, I don't remember Finland that much. I do remember 2 things, and it has nothing to do with snowboarding. The Indian food spot that we used to always hit around the corner.
Absolutely. I totally remember that.
And then the fucking reindeer sandwich Kareem. Kareem would make a reindeer sandwich every single morning. And then I'd see him stuff another one in his pocket. And I'm like, dude, we're going to go to lunch. He's like, oh, but dude, like, did he fall off? He'll come back on. But he's like, oh, dude, like, I really love the reindeer, man. It's like super good meat, man. And I'm just like, bro, it's fucking reindeer meat. Oh my God. It was so good. Where we at right now? We've got, hour and a half in. We'll wait for Kareem to pop back in. Eddie, do you have any other things you want to jump? We're editing this, so it's not live, so we can just fucking chop up some ideas and bring it right back in. Finland is a fucking blur. I was drunk the whole time.
Yeah, I think Kareem was right when he said, like, I feel like I flew into Sweden, we took the boat over to Finland, and we were just there for like I felt like I was there for a pretty short period of time, and then it started snowing in Sweden, we just went straight back.
So we were only there for a short amount of time then, huh?
Yeah. And I think when we were there, I actually think the Lidmar was like cool and like artsy, but it hadn't been redone. But I think I went back like a year or 2 later and they had like remodeled the whole thing. And then it was like super swanky. Like it was like all white. The whole thing was white with like white leather couches and white chandeliers. It was like super crazy. And I just remember it being really fancy. And, but yeah, anyways.
This episode is brought to you by BYOB. Be Your Own Banker. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only 2 types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money.
Travis is the king of running a 2-3 day joke on somebody. Do you remember Kareem? Eddie, I don't know if you were there. Was this the special blitz shoot? Do you remember when Kennedy fucking played the joke on you? What was the dude's name? The stripper. The stripper, like, he called and he's like, oh, dude, like, the dude's looking for you. You owe him money for talking to his stripper for the last couple of days. What was that? What was the dude's name he made up?
like it was me, Yoni, and Travis. We went to like, cause it was like down day and like bad weather and stuff. So we are like, okay, let's go to Portland and like check it out, you know. And we went like partying and we rented like a room there. And then like I don't remember, like we all were like pretty drunk, you know. And then they like started making fun with me, like, hey, there's some girls outside in the lobby, like you should go there, you know. Like and I went to the lobby and I didn't see a girl, and they were like on the phone like pretending to be a girl, like hello, like where are you? Like I'm looking for you, and you know like they were just like fucking with me. So I was like going back and forth from the room, and they're like, "Come on, dude, they're downstairs. Go and look for her." Like, and then I went down there, and like she never showed up. And then like the next day, they started like playing like this voice of like Carmelo, the pimp, you know. And they're like, "Hi, this is Carmelo. You've been taking up time with one of my bitches. I need my money. I need my money right now, you know." And like this is like Yoni and Travis taking turns like in the back seat, like calling and like pretending to be like the fucking pimp, you know. And then we make it back to the house in Hood River, you know, and they keep going at it. And then there's like someone's pounding on the door, you know, and like Carmelo is on the phone, like, I'm outside. Come and open the fucking door, you know. And like then like someone like pretended like someone was pushing the door, and like I was trying to push the door back, like, oh my god, like I'm in America, like these guys got guns, like he's fucking gonna kill me, you know. Like, and I like ran into the house, and like yeah, just like fucking like yeah, that was so bad. Like I was tripping, man. Like I was really like yeah, that was, they got me good, man.
You were stressed the fuck out, dude.
Hey, real quick, Kareem, this is like kind of way out of left field, but was it like the first time you ever came to the US, you got a hotel by the airport and you're like, oh yeah, I'm staying in this place called like Inglewood, and then you got like all your fucking shit stolen at the hotel?
Yeah, we were like stupid Swedes.
You guys were like, we'll just stay right...
It was like me and 5 homies, we like saved up money, you know, to go to like America, you know, like go to Mammoth and do a season. And like we were supposed to like meet up with a friend like John Hayden that was like living in Huntington Beach, that was supposed to like get us from the airport. But we were like stupid and we didn't like realize you gotta like dial 1 and like some like country code, you know. So we're like, fuck, we can't get hold of him, you know. And then this like old like crackhead like comes up at the airport, like super sketchy looking, and like, hey guys, you need a car? And we're like, yes, we need a car. They're like, yeah, I know a guy, like he has a nice motel like close to the airport, you guys can come stay there, you know. And while we look at the car, and like I was like, oof, I don't know about these guys, you know. And they're like, yeah, fuck it, like let's go with this guy, you know. So we went to like somewhere called Inglewood, like I don't know what Inglewood is, you know. Like, and we're like, oof, it's kind of sketchy looking out here, you know. Like, but they have a pool at the motel, so that's like amazing, you know. And then like we were with that guy, like yeah, it was like we were in the swimming pool like swimming, and one guy was sleeping in the room, and the guy sleeping in the room, like while he was doing that, someone climbed into the room and like stole my computer, my friend's video camera, and like stole a bunch of shit from us like while he was sleeping. And then like we were like, fuck, we did like a report, and the cops came like just looking at us like, fuck, you guys expect, like we're like, what do you mean, like, you know. Like then we went like with the guy to the DMV, like I like in Inglewood, and like I don't know, man, like that was sketchy, man. Like there was like everyone looked like gnarly dudes, you know. Like we're like there with this like dirty like crackhead, like, you know, like trying to buy his Oldsmobile, you know, and stuff. And yeah, eventually we bought the car, and we got hold of like our friend in Huntington, and like he came to us and like, dude, like what the fuck are you guys doing here? And like we've been robbed and like all this, you know. And like it was like, oh, we got to go back to like Huntington. And like when we're about to leave, we see this like real G looking dude like walking on the street with like a Forum hoodie, you know. And I was like, that's my hoodie, you know. And like my homie, he was like, oh, that's your hoodie? And he went to the guy, you know, and he's like, yeah, like you were like, we like, that's my friend's hoodie. He's like, no, it's not, it's mine, it's keeping me warm, I like it, you know. And like in the end, we like, he bought it back, the Forum hoodie, for like $10 off the G, like at the corner in like Inglewood. And like yeah, we went to like Huntington, stay there for like a day, and then like we had so much like like stuff, so we like tied a rope around the roof with all the board bags, so like the roof came in, and it was like a 6-seater, like, like Oldsmobile, and we made it like to like pretty much like North LA when it like transmission blew. We had to like ditch the car in an alley, like take off the plates, like get on a bus, and we're like, oh, we're gonna take the bus to Mammoth, so we went to like Fresno, and like to go through the mountain pass, but that was closed, like, so we had to like reroute through Reno, and then somehow get from Reno to Mammoth, and that was a 3 fucking day journey, man. And like the greyhounds in the US, they're gnarly, man. There's like only like old, like really poor people, and like really sketchy people, man. Like really, like everyone looks like they're gonna stab you at like any point, and like that was a hard like introduction to America, like that was like first time in the US, and like everything went wrong, man.
That whole trip went from bad to worse. The fact that you started out in Inglewood and then ended up in Fresno is fucking insane.
Oh my god, dude, that's such a great story. That is that is such, like, you couldn't even, you could make a movie about that. That is so funny. You couldn't even invent how many bad fucking scenarios happened during that. That's so good. It takes you 3 days to get to Mammoth. It's literally 5 hours from LA.
I know, it's fucking crazy. That's crazy, dude. Kareem,
yeah, but we're such
bro.
idiots, like who buys a fucking old Oldsmobile of a fucking crackhead at LAX, like it's just like stupid Swedes, like, like first time to America, like, yes, everything will be all right.
Like, fucking.
Oh my god, dude.
Epic. That is so fucking epic, dude. I'm like crying right now because that was the best story I've ever heard. Kareem, okay, since we're on fucking crazy stories in America, will you please enlighten the viewers and Eddie about the time that I took you out to a party in Salt Lake with the AK-47?
Yeah, that was fucked, man. Like that year, like that year, like Marco, MFM, he started like Sound, this clothing company, and he got me on the team, and he was like, dude, I can't do much, but I can fly you out here and you can stay with me, and I have some sleds and we can go and film and stuff. And I went to the US, and I got hurt on my first trip. We went to Tahoe, like me and Johnny Paxton, we hit like a poppy step down. And like Paxton, like he was a sender, man, and like he went first on the jump and was gonna do a cab 3, and it was like a poppy jump like that, but then the landing dropped off really fast, like steep, into a lake. And he like, we didn't know the speed, and he was like speed checking, and I was like, oof, that looks kind of like a lot, like I wouldn't take more speed than that. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna send a cab 3, man. And he sent a cab 3 to the moon, man. Like he went like he went so far that he like almost landed on the lake, like on his back. Like that was first hit. And I was like when the landing was like starting, he was just like kept going up, like just up, and like landed so far down, and like I went after him, did like a backside 7, but like Cole Taylor was like, dude, you were flailing, you should do it again. I did it, and then I got stuck in a bomb hole, and it was like hot pow, and that was the only jump I hit, the first jump. And I landed, and then I hit the bomb hole, and I like flipped around and twisted my knee. So I was like hurt for like 6 weeks on that trip, and I was staying with Stevie and Marco, and we were like all hurt in Utah. And we were like just playing ping pong and drinking beers, like not doing much. And you, Stevie, you showed me like a lot from Salt Lake City that winter. We went to like all these crazy house parties and stuff. And like at one house party, it was like so gnarly, man. Like you had some homies from like some Mexican dudes that were like kind of gnarly. And then there was like these football jocks that was like super sketchy as well. like I don't know, they were just like jockey aggressive dudes, you know, and like then somehow there was like a fight between the Mexicans and the jocks, and the jocks ran out and then came running down the stairs, and the guy was like came with a AK-47, you know, and started like waving the AK-47 on the party, and like I was DJing, like playing some Bob Marley, and I was like, what is going on? Like, it's like, why are they waving like a BB gun, like a soft air gun? Like, what fucking idiots, you know? And then I had this other homie from Australia, like terrified, like Mitch, you know, and he was like, "That is not a soft air gun, my
Yeah.
friend. That is a AK-47." I was like, "Ooh, like, okay, shit just got really real, you know." And like, the guys were like waving at the Mexican. The Mexican was like, "Fuck you," you know. And I was like, "Oof, this is no bueno," you know. And then like Stevie runs up to those homies and just fucking slaps the gun away, like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Like bringing an AK-47," and like stepped in between the dudes, and I don't know, you just called them out and like convinced them to leave and stuff, and then they left, and it was just like after that it kind of really sank in that like, fuck, that could have gone so bad so quick, you know, like that was sketchy, man. But yeah, big up Stevie. I was like, all right, this guy's got some balls. Like he steps in front of the AK and slaps the fucking rifle away and like call these guys out. Like I was like, all right, Stevie's tough guy.
I just welcome to America, Kareem. Nah, I just knew both parties, bro, and I just knew that it was just a front. Not saying that it was a game, but I was just like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. This is stupid. And they listened, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. My asshole was this fucking tight when I walked in front of everybody. Like, fuck, it was either that or just let the shit go off and we all get hit. Fuck it, somebody had to step up, and I was like, yo, listen, we gotta end this right now. That could have got real bad, dude. That was fucking wild.
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
got some really
Yeah, that
cultural
was wild. So
experiences over
I know
there in
we're
the US,
on
man. Like I have some stories with Travis too, you know. I don't know if we
sick.
can like I can tell you guys. I don't know if you want to use it, you know, but like that was the same year when I got hurt there. Like like Travis was like that was his first year off the forum, and like he just bought a house and like a fucking Kenny Power jet ski, you know, like, and he was like, "Oh fuck, the bank is coming for
Yeah.
my jet ski," you know, and it was like trying to hide the jet ski, you know, like, and they had like their whole garage full of weed, you know, like they were growing some like they're like, "Yeah, we're growing some granddaddy purple kush, man," and like the whole house was like full of weed, and like there was like guns lying around everywhere, like sawed off shotguns and like all kinds. Like I've barely seen weapons coming out of Sweden, you know. I was like, what do you guys using all these weapons for? And they're like, yeah, you know, if somebody trying to bust our stash, you know, we gotta blast those fools, you know. I was like, fuck, like this is kind of gnarly, you know, like. And then like me and Travis like, all right, I gotta handle some business down in Reno, like let's go, you know. Like I get in his truck, you know, like his whole back seat is pretty much like a subwoofer, you know, like a bass, you know, like the whole pickup truck is like vibrating and stuff, you know, and like
Yeah.
he's just like with his grills in his mouth, like waving around his gun, like rapping while driving in the car, like smoking blunts, and I was like, oof, this is kind of gnarly, you know, like, and then he's like, you know, it's like, you know, these bullets, they're hollow tip bullets, you know, like they gotta like, if you shoot someone, you're gonna fuck them up, you know, like I was like, all right, you know, and then like we go outside of a strip club, and there's like some sketchy stripper coming out, you know, and like I'm there in the back of the car, like can't barely walk because my knee's all busted, you know, and like then he's there like doing some like deals with the stripper and stuff, like comes back with a bunch of pills and coke and like everything, you know, and I was like, fuck, like this is so bad. Like if we get pulled over now, like I'm like, and he was like explaining, like, yeah, these fucking hollow tip bullets, they're so illegal. If you get caught with these, you're fucked for life, man. Like some shit like that. And I was like, dude, like
Oh
why
my god.
is this
Travis,
happening? Like,
Travis is the wildest fucking dude on planet Earth. I think it was the year of that we were filming, and I was in Tahoe with Travis, staying at his same house, same, and they were just growing a bunch of weed. But I remember like we were on our way to a sled spot. Like I think we are going to Blue Lakes or something, and Travis like, oh dog, I gotta go Safeway get some food real quick, dog. Like I'll be down there, dog. I'm like, cool, whatever. So I peel off from trucking and go out to Blue Lakes. That's when I get a call like 45 minutes later. Travis like, oh shit, dog, I lost my sled, dog. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you lost your sled? He's like, dude, it fell off the back of my truck, dog. And I'm like, okay, cool, so turn around and go get it.
He's like, bro, the cops are there, bro, and my whole back of my sled is full of weed. I'm like, well, looks like you ain't sledding today. And fucking, so I get to the sled spot, and like literally he shows up like an hour later, dude. And he starts telling us a story. He's like, "Oh man, the cops didn't even like they didn't search my sled. They helped me load it and shit." And he's like, "I'm Travis King, dog. I got this shit, dog." And I'm like, "Bro, you were this close from going to fucking prison. Like you are a fucking idiot." And yeah, it was just a wild day. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, who the fuck like lets their sled fall off the back of the truck and drives like 10, 15 minutes away and forgets this and doesn't notice their sled's not in the back? It's not small. Dude, you know what's so funny about Travis is he always called it, yo, let's go get a steak and shake, dog. Let's go get a steak and shake. I'm like, what do you mean a steak and shake? He's like, you eat a steak and you want some shake. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Okay, let's go. Like, what the fuck? He was a wild character. Oh my God, man. Travis is something different.
This episode is brought to you by BYOB, Be Your Own Banker. Visit BeYourOwnBanker.com.
Also brought to you by PMC, Private Money Club. There are only two types of people in the world, people with money and people who need money. There's only one community that solves both problems. PrivateMoneyClub.com is the only dating site for money.
I want to give a big shout out to Snowbird. Snowbird is your one-stop shop entertainment all year round. Whether it's catching deep powder in the winter or going up with your friends and family during the summer and riding the aerial tram or the roller coaster. And one of my personal favorites during the fall, Oktoberfest. Go to snowbird.com, get your tickets. I'll see you up there.
All right, fellas. I'm just going to ask some form that specific questions just to close this thing out. Cool. Eddie, this is more for you. I know you have experience working on, major films before that. What makes that different than other major films that you've worked on?
I mean, I think one of the coolest things about it is the fact that it really was just such a team effort, team video, to where everybody, it's oddly enough, it's pretty rare in the snowboarding world when like a full team is just together for a whole season, basically. And I think that's what really set it apart. And I think you can see it in the movie. And I think that's one of the reasons so many people got so hyped on it, even from the opening intro with the whole team together where they're filming all the letters lining up. But then just all the kind of funny parts in it where it's like you guys jumping around on the little bears and all that type of stuff. I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those videos where everything came together perfectly, like at a perfect timing, and of just like riders, filmers, the season being good, just behind the scenes, fun party times and stuff. It's just like everything kind of came together perfectly for like the perfect storm of like an epic video.
Yeah, it was almost like lightning in the bottle. I feel like it all just came together. And it's funny because even to this day, I can post something about any other movie I was in or like some like old, Forum nostalgia or something else. And it's like almost crickets. I post even the dumbest thing from the movie and it's like, I can't even keep up with the comments or my inbox.
Yeah.
It's fucking, it's nuts,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's what like Eddie mentions here that really like separated that from, because like a lot of movies I feel like there's not so much personality in the movies. It's more like you're all about like trick, like someone trying to look cool or funny in a shot and then trick. But like with the Forum movie, like the That movie, it was so much personality. It's like with the Forum movie and that, you had like a whole story and you had all these little skits, and like it really like you really got a realistic feeling of how all the people were in real life. Like whereas like most snowboarding movies, because you kind of like as a kid you idolize your like heroes of snowboarding and you kind of want to know more about them than just the snowboarding. And that was like so well done in the That movie that they really brought out everyone's personality, and you kind of felt like you kind of knew the person without ever meeting the person, you know what I mean? Whereas like some people like had 10 video parts and you had like no idea how the dude looked like or this or how it looked, but not like how he sounded or how his personality was or anything like that. So they really like built up everyone's like kind of like image or whatever around this, and you really got like a realistic feeling of like being there with them.
Yeah, I concur. I feel like it did bring. I mean, obviously there's massive personalities from Laurie, fucking the model, the H&M model,
to Yoni and then Ika, who's super funny, and then all of us. Like it was definitely the perfect storm. Like lightning on a bottle. That movie was fucking insane. What did you guys winter look like? I know Sweden and Finland was like just this epic fucking trip. But what was the rest of the year like for you guys filming for that? You know, park shoots and like I know I didn't make it to any backcountry because I ended up getting injured. But Eddie, did you end up going to backcountry? What'd your winter look like after that? After Sweden and Finland?
Yeah, after Sweden and Finland, I made my way back to California, and we just filmed in Tahoe. So the couple of jump shots, like I have my intro shot, which is it's like a backside five crail in the backcountry. That was in Tahoe. That was in Blue Lakes, and then also there's a switchback five in there from the backcountry. But yeah, I think it was just basically. I think that was it. I mean, I think we just. It's funny looking back because I went to watch the part again before this just to kind of have a refresher, and I actually forgot that like almost my entire part was filmed in Sweden and Finland, and then just a couple backcountry clips. I was like, oh damn, like we really did kind of film the whole video there. And I think and I don't even remember if we did a park shoot that year, and if we did, I didn't get a clip because I don't think there was one in my part. So.
No, I don't. I honestly don't remember any part shoots off of that. I remember for like Fuck It and Vacation and Former Against Him and all those other videos, we did part shoots, but I don't remember anything from Forum that. So
No, I don't either.
if so, then I didn't get any shots either.
We did.
Kareem, you
There,
there?
there, there was a few shots, like, or there was a park shoot. I think one. I don't remember where it was, but they did like a big park jump. But I think they never ended up using anything from that. Like Heine was on a ladder on top of like a gap jump, and I don't know. Because I went to the U.S. that same winter, and I got to go to that shoot, and then we went to Mount St. Helens, and we hit like. A step up. I think Pat Moore does like a backside 180 or something. Like Travis did a front one, but I don't think they used Travis. And then we hit like a step down as well. But I think they never ended up using any of those shots because there was no park stuff, or was
So
there?
yeah,
Maybe
yeah, I don't remember any of that.
did Lowry maybe have some park shots? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I have to go back and watch it, but I guess that's something we can do some research on. And if we find clips of it, we'll put it in there. But I don't remember any of that.
Because Lowry got really hurt Lowry got his collarbone
What was
broken
that?
like on the first trip on of that year on in Stockholm. I remember. But I think he got back like later in the winter.
I
I don't
remember
really
that.
remember. But yeah, for me, that was like when you guys left. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm finally going snowboarding." I went to Austria and rode a
And to
bunch.
sleep, man.
First, I was sleeping for like a week, like that was so exhausting. But after that, I went to Austria because I was filming for Factor Films, and I had like a video part, like opener 3.5 minute video part that year with all the footage that wasn't used in that, and then I filmed a bunch of backcountry stuff there too in Aalborg in Austria and stuff. So I just basically did a lot of snowboarding after that, and yeah, then I went to the U.S. and I stayed with Travis Blavelt and Cole Barish. They had a house in Tahoe, so I was there for a while.
I
But
remember that house. Really quick, I know this is like the summertime after that, but do you remember when we were in Austria, Kareem? And we were at a summer camp. It was me, Blauvelt, Welch, Kennedy, and fucking sweet baby cheeks Kareem. And we were like, we sent it one night. And I remember we all got up the next morning. And even Jesse Augustine was a child at this time, and his dad was there, and we were kicking it with them. Bro, we get up to go snowboarding, and I don't think I was in your room, Kareem, but somehow I got in the room, and I tried to wake you up for like an hour. He wouldn't wake up, so we go snowboarding. We come back, and we were like sitting at dinner. And Kareem finally wakes up and like comes out in his like pajamas and his cornrows. And it's like, oh man, like what time we like what standing like this too, like the Kareem, like so what time we going snowboarding, dude? and we're like, snowboarding. Like, bro, we've already gone snowboarding. He's like, oh no, dude, like, oh no, I missed the whole day, dude. Like, what the fuck, man? Why nobody wake me up, man? And we're like, dude, we tried to wake you up. And he was just so bummed the rest of the time, dude. It was fucking hilarious. It was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
man, I was so bummed out, because that was like the only good weather day I think I remember, and I didn't like get to ride, and like there was a bunch of like like the team was there and like the team managers, and I just fucking slept through a whole day, man. Like, I
You
was
slept
so
like 18
tired.
hours, bro. We were drinking Strodka or some shit.
Yeah, that was the day after the Strodkas, because like they have this straw rum that is like completely fucked, like it's engine fuel, it's like 80%, and they sell it. You can't drink it. But then we like realized that if you like mix it with vodka, you get like Strodka. So we have like straw rum and vodka, and then like they kind of like take out each other. So you like go right, left, like one Strodka, one vodka, mix it, and then you drink it. And obviously that wasn't a good idea, like it kind of put me out for like 24 hours.
It was everybody was laughing so hard in the lobby too, and there's so many people when Kareem came storming in. We were fucking dead, dude. Like it was just like I honestly wish I had footage. Somebody's got to have footage. If you have footage out there of Kareem coming into the lobby and just being like, "Oh, let's go, man," and we're just like, "What?" That was insane. I'll never forget that. So switching gears, I know that we did a pretty fucking elaborate tour for that, which was epic. Eddie, what part of the tour did you do? Did you ended up doing the whole bus tour, didn't you? Tell me how the bus tour went for you.
Well, so the bus tour was 30 days. It was a month-long tour, and it was probably in like October or September or something. But I remember they were like, hey, this is super gnarly, so we're going to like switch out riders. So it'll be like 1 week or 10 days, and then another crew will be 1 week, 10 days, and another crew is like 10 days. So it's like a 30-day. But everybody only had to commit to 10 days. But I just remember being like, I'm like, damn, I don't know the next time I'm going to be on a tour bus, like cruising around the North America. Like, I'll sign up for all 30 days. And they're like, Eddie, you're probably going to die. And I was like, oh, I'll try, and so, yeah, it was insane. I mean, I just remember the tour bus rolling up down at Forum in Southern California, and it was fully wrapped. And then we got on and we all were like assigned our bunks. It slept, 12 bunk beds in it. And it was just, yeah, it's super funny. Yeah, I forgot. I mean, I remembered the tour, but I forgot kind of in my mind that it was linked to that. But that was the most memorable thing ever. I mean, just the way the tour went is that you would, for instance, we started off with the world premiere in Southern California, and you'd get to like wherever you were. Like, let's say the tour bus picked us up at like 5 p.m. You go to a huge dinner. Everyone gets all like epic food and then gets all juiced up. And then you go to the premiere. You watch the premiere, which at that time, premieres were absolutely psycho because no one had seen any footage coming up to it because there was no social media, stuff like that. So premieres were so big. And then everyone's like going crazy at the premieres and everybody's drinking and going nuts. And then and the premiere ends and then there's a party and everyone goes to the after party. And then at like midnight or 1 a.m, they would like grab us, put us on the tour bus, and it would drive through the night. And then in the next morning, you'd wake up in some other city and just repeat. And you're probably there. Maybe you get there a little early and you have some time to skate, but normally it's just like wake up at, because then when we would get on the bus at 1 a.m, we would keep partying until like 4 a.m. on the bus, like every time. So then we'd sleep from like 4 or 5 a.m. until like 3 or 4 p.m. Wake up, dinner, drinks, premiere, party, get on the tour bus, keep partying till 4 a.m, and just rinse and repeat for a month. And it was full on. That was like, that's like really felt almost like kind of like rock star type stuff, It's pretty wild.
Nah, that was epic. What was your overall view of Forum when you were filming for that?
Overall view of Forum while we were filming for that was basically a well-oiled machine. It was at that point, everybody was there to just work and grind, and from the marketing, from the creative, from the sales side, from the behind the scenes, we're all just functioning at such a high level. And then everybody on the team was functioning at a high level. The filmers, the editors, the photographers that we had, it was just, again, almost like a perfect storm of awesomeness that just created something that's like, is pretty hard to recreate for sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was for my personal experience. I was like, damn, this is like the pinnacle of snowboarding right now. This is
a well-oiled machine, but obviously a no-budget machine. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So,
yeah.
who are your favorite people to ride with?
Um, Favorite people to ride with? I mean, to be totally honest, like, and not to just take the easy way out, it's riding with everybody was super fun. I mean, honestly, riding with you and Kennedy was pretty fun just because it was just nonstop laughing, dude. Like, and Cole Barish, like, once, you know, we'd call it like Comedy Central, and that was like, it was pretty fun. Like, you guys, because a lot of it was pretty stressful because we were really grinding and working hard, but you guys always kept it light and were just making jokes. And so, yeah, I definitely was always pretty, like, I was like excited, and also like I knew when I was going to get on a crew with you guys, I'm like, all right, might be like slightly less productive, but it's going to be way more fun.
True. Facts. Very facts. Yeah. I feel like I didn't have favorites, but I do think like yourself, Cole, even Sweet Baby Cheeks, Kareem, and like even Pettit. You know, he wasn't a rider. Pettit always brought good vibes and like was fun. But like riding with Ika, like, everybody was fun to ride with. I didn't have an issue riding with anybody. It was always just super fun. Yoni was fucking comedy. It was rad. Who do you think brought the best vibe to the crew when we were riding? And it could be multiple people.
um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like different. Like, for instance, like if you're on a trip with Pat Moore, you knew you were going to be so hyper productive, and so that's like a good vibe in that sense of like, dude, we are going to get probably like, we're going to hit 3-4 spots a day, we're going to clip up, it's going to be so sick, we're going to come off of this trip with tons of clips. Sorry.
No, you're
but
good.
but no, I mean, like I said before, honestly, it's like whenever like you and Stevie were on a trip, or you and Kennedy were on a trip, it was just like pretty funny, dude. Like, it was just nonstop, just jokes, and like, yeah, sometimes almost hard to get your head into a trick because there was just so much like kind of shit talking and like fun jokes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would say as far as just overall bringing the vibe, like, yeah, you and Kennedy brought it.
Hell yeah. I think that the three of us always had a pretty good vibe going there. Like, it was hard to get serious with Travis because, like, he just couldn't ever get serious. And then it would piss you off because he would just go get his trick pretty fucking quick. But then
Yeah.
he'd, like, be on some bullshit. Like, you know how many times he put, like, dog shit or, like, some type of shit in the landing? Just fucking around, like, dude, stop him. Just because you got your trick, motherfucker, doesn't mean that I don't have my trick and this shit's funny. Like, just let me finish doing this and then we can have jokes after. Like, or like something random in the landing, or he'll draw a dick on the lift. He's just a fucking, yeah. He's a maniac, bro. So yeah. Outside of the Forum team, what other crews did you look to for inspiration?
Um, I mean, dude, like, to be totally honest, like, not. I don't think anybody. I mean, I guess when we were filming with the DC guys, it was pretty cool because sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really look at too many other crews because we were just like head down filming with Forum, and in my opinion at that time, there was not really any other crews that were hitting it that hard and kind of at that level of riding and that professionalism. Again, we kind of talk about how much we partied and stuff, but once we were out at spots and in the backcountry, like, it was like we are getting the gnarliest clips possible at no lengths or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we'll go to all lengths to get the gnarliest clips. So yeah, honestly, I mean, when you see other movies come out and you see like Hosnick's crew and stuff like that, you're like, oh man, they were productive, they got a lot of stuff done. But as far as in general, I don't think I really looked up to any other crews. I think it's like the crew I would looked up to our crews like within our film.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of hard to pick your head up and look around when you've got so much going on in your own crew. But when the other videos would come out, like I always looked at Chase Sexton. He races Supercross. Like Joe Sexton, I'd always like be looking forward to his video parts and a few other guys out there because I knew that they were gonna put some shit down. So that makes that total sense. But our crew, I mean, we had some of the best people on planet Earth at that time. Not taking away from any other crew. I'm just saying, like, from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and of course there's other crews. Like I said, Hosnick was putting out insane videos at that time, and I mean,
Fire.
Standard, of course, Dogger. like they were filming like Shakedown and some of those videos back at that time. I don't know the exact timelines, but or from Blank with Love and some of those films. And you know that like every time Dogger gets his crew together, they're going to be gnarly and productive. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, like tons of respect and looking up to those guys. But yeah, I think we definitely had something pretty special at Forum.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know that you've known Peter for a long time, but what was your first impression when you first saw Peter snowboard? Whether that was in a movie or a magazine clip or first time seeing him just like with your own eyes, what was your first impression?
First time ever seeing Peter ride was when I was a kid. I was probably 13 years old, and I had got Simple Pleasures, and I just remember I just didn't know that you could go that big on a snowboard. I just didn't know how that was possible, and he was just sending it so big, and then that was followed up by Decade and Resistance and True Life and all of those parts. I mean, he was just doing stuff that, again, didn't seem possible on a snowboard, and that just blew my mind, you know. And I mean, it's why he's one of the most respected snowboarders to ever step on a board. But yeah, it was again kind of pretty incredible to end up getting on a team with him and you know getting to be in ads with him and film with him and everything, and then you know all the way up to like he was the best man in my wedding. Like that, talk about crazy. I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like childhood hero, and then still really close. He just came to visit, stayed at our house for his birthday just a couple weeks ago, and so yeah, Pete's the man.
Yeah, thanks for the invite to the wedding, Pete. Eddie. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, were you? I think you were on that road trip where we had Pete out in the streets with us in Quebec. Were you on that trip?
I forget. I don't think I was there. I think I might have been, but then I left or something. But I know, like, when he did like the switch back to 270 into that wall at the castle and all this. Yeah, I don't think I was there for that.
Actually, was that the same year where you went down on that big ass flat down wood kink and went home early? Because I think that was the same year.
It is, and it's oddly enough, I have the same injury right now that I got.
No way.
On that rail, compression fracture my tibial plateau. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I remember that, dude. And then I remember when after you fell. Yeah, I remember like us looking at each other like when we were hitting that rail. Remember the locals were just pulling us in because I was like it was flat and like they just had to like hand sling us in. But I just remember we were just like fuck. I guess here we go. But after you went down and then like we got y'all taken care of and went to the hospital, I just remember like Patty being like, "Yo, what's up, man? So you ready to do this thing?" And I was like, "No, not at all. Fuck no. I don't want to hit this thing at all." And then get bodied on the first try.
Yeah, you get flipped upside down. That was so gnarly. The fall looks so gnarly and like
Dude, I literally, it happened so fast. Like like when we fall a lot, so we get used to falling. But dude, it happened so fast. I couldn't do anything about it. But I just remember that part of the trip. Anyways, we're all subject there. But what was your first impression when you met Peter for the first time?
When I met Peter?
Yeah.
Well, pretty funny story, dude. First time I ever met Peter was in Vegas. There was a big snowboarding thing back then called SIA. And, well, there's still SIA, but it used to be in Vegas. Big trade show. Mixmaster Mike was playing, I remember, at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. And I met Peter on the dance floor, and I remember just being like, oh, damn, like, that's Peter Lyon. And so, like, I kind of, like, went over to him, and we bumped into each other. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? What's your name? And he's like, Peter. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And then, like, 10 minutes later, I saw him, and I didn't want to act like a super fan, or, like, and so I was like, oh, what's up, man? I was like, hey, sorry, what was your name again? And he looked at me, and he was like, Peter. Like he's like, yes. He looked at me as if he's like, I know that you know who I am, idiot. And so I was like, oh yeah, cool, Eddie, man, nice to meet you. Yeah. And as I was saying, I was like, this is so embarrassing. And then the next time I met him, so that was like when I was on K2. And then the next time I had met him is when I was already talking to Kevin Jones about joining Genius. And that was pretty cool. I remember we were in Whistler Village at Max Fish at this bar, and I met Pete, and I was like, oh, hey, like, nice to meet you. My name's Eddie. And he was like, oh, I know more about you than you think. And I was like, oh, Peter Line knows about me? Like, what the hell? This is insane. And from there it was like, he's like, yeah, I've been talking to Kevin about getting you on Genius and everything. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then, we became fast friends after that.
That's sick. That's super sick.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you can. Isn't it crazy? It's surreal when you become friends with people. Go ahead, Eddie.
Oh, and a quick one is that to get on Foursquare, Peter had this rule that he had to go out and film with you and see you ride in person before he signed you to the team. I was already on Genius, and we were negotiating the Foursquare contract, and they were just like, hey, listen, like, dude, you know he's a good rider, whatever, just like, and he's like, I want to go film with him. But the way the contracts worked, he finally was just like, okay, cool, I'll just put him on the team without going to ride with him. But like, for example, he went to ride with Chris Duffessy, and Chris Duffessy cab 9 perfect jump in Whistler, and Peter was there and saw that, and then he's like, yes, he's on Foursquare. And he did that with Mike Page, he did that with everybody on the team. But for me, I guess, like, at that time, he just made an exception because it just wasn't lining up. And it was like, dude, we have to sign this contract, right? But the first time I did get to film with him was in Mammoth, and I never filmed with him before. And I'm already on Foursquare, but I was like, dude, I better prove myself because, like, he signed me without even seeing me snowboard. And it was a fucking quarter pipe, a huge quarter pipe, like a 25-foot, 30-foot quarter pipe, which I don't hate quarter pipes, but I was just like, well, I have to do this, right? And so, dude, I'm like dropping in, warming up, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to, and Peter's really good at quarter pipe, so he's dropping in super high. Yeah. And, dude, I just go up the quarter pipe, and when I come down, the mat was just back a little, and I just butt check on it, and I, like, crunched my rib, and basically broke my rib. And, like, within 10 minutes of fucking meeting Peter, like, or riding with him, boom, and I just go and, like, sit down on a sled, and I was like, oh, dude, he's probably going to just drop me from fucking Foursquare right now. Like, dude, I was so bummed out. That was the worst.
Fuck, that's incredible, dude. That's wild. All right, last, I know this is not that, but this is a story that I've been thinking about for a while. Can you just tell everybody about the story where we were at SIA? Couple things happened. One, I slept and missed the movie premiere, which is a whole nother topic. But do you remember the time that you thought you saw me in the lobby making out with a girl and you licked my face, but it wasn't me?
Yeah. Well, I don't really remember this that clearly, but I was told what happened. But yeah, so I'm like walking to the lobby and I just see, I'm like, oh, like we were all partying and I was just like, oh, Stevie's making out with this girl. And so like, you know, we were all close back then, always doing dumb pranks on his stuff. And so he's like making out with this girl, and I just go and I lick the side of his face, like all the way up. And then just being an idiot. And then Stevie like turns and looks at me, and it wasn't Stevie. It was just a total stranger in the lobby. And he like looks at me like he was gonna kill me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry! Like I thought you were my friend. I thought you were my friend." But like, yeah, just fully licked the full side of some total stranger's face, and luckily, he like kind of thought it was funny or whatever, and then didn't kill me. But yeah,
that was good. I just remember hearing about that the next morning and just being like, "Oh, that's dope." But I was in so much trouble because I fucking slept and I pulled a Kareem and missed the whole fucking premiere. And then they sent me on a whole Eastern America tour by myself to like all these small places. It ended up being the funnest trip of my life, but it was just like, yeah. So, but hell yeah, Eddie. I know you gotta go. I'm just gonna do an outro with you, and I'll get Kareem on to do whatever he's gonna do. This guy, cool. Dude, if I have to get on one more time with this dude, it's crazy. Huh? Yeah, I'm going to. Hell yeah. Well, hey, Eddie, dude, I want to thank you for jumping on. This has been such a sick experience. I know I'm going to have you on some future episodes, so stay tuned. We'll have more of Eddie Wall. But yeah, dude, in closing, like what are you up to now, and where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, as far as if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just Eddie Wall, EDDIEWALL. And right now I'm doing a bunch of different stuff. My main gig is I'm the marketing and athlete manager at Arbor Snowboards, so helping manage the whole team over there, as well as, you know, laying out just all the marketing, organizing our ad campaigns, what products we're going to be featuring and things like that. It's been an epic learning experience. Huge shout out to Arbor. Been so psyched. We have an awesome like athlete team, but a really solid internal team. Everybody's just super diehard core snowboarders and skaters and stuff. So it's really sick. And then I'm also doing a lot of commentating. Like I commentate all the U.S. Grand Prix, natural selection, Summer X Games, and then I'm doing some kind of like sports and comp organizational things too at like Winter X Games, Rockstar Energy Open, and things like that. Yeah, it's just trying to stay up in the mix. I love every aspect of snowboarding, and skating, and I just want to stay in it. So yeah, still grinding.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm really pumped to see what you're up to. Check out my man Eddie Wall on his Instagram. Eddie Wall is just the handle. I thank you, Eddie, for jumping on. I know, like I said, we'll have you on some other episodes, but fuck yeah, man. It's been real. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Much appreciated. Kareem, you're the best. Love you. Hopefully I get over to Sweden and get to hang. But yeah, dude. See you guys. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Eddie. What was your overall view of Forum while filming for the movie That?
Well, Forum was since I was a kid, and since I saw like Simple Pleasures, like the proper first snowboard movie, like that was Forum was everything for me. Like that was like I just wanted to ride a Forum board. I just like loved Forum, and
Thanks for tuning in to the Switchboard Podcast, Forum Chronicles, episode 11, with Kareem and Eddie. We had some technical difficulties because we're streaming all the way to Sweden, 8-hour time difference. But stay tuned, because episode 12 is going to be something special.